The live Pennsylvania lottery drawing tonight at 7.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series and the National Championship Game.
The first start of his brilliant career came here in Columbus as a freshman 3 seasons past. Today, the senior gets his last shot in the shoe. Dayne, a defense dominator, 4 years at Wisconsin. Each carry bringing him closer to joining college football immortals. The climb to the top of college football's rushing list is a steep one as he strives to become king of the hill. But 99 has seen setbacks along the way. And number 9, Ohio State, becomes the next mountain to scale. And Heisman talk takes a back seat to the task at hand, stopping a 2-game losing skid and running the Badgers back into the Big Ten race. Atop the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio. The scene today of the number 9 team in the country with a home encounter as they open Big Ten play against the Badgers of Wisconsin. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. We welcome you to a picture-perfect day for football in Big Ten country here in Columbus. An Ohio State team that's 3-1. They fought their way back into the top 10 with that number 9 national ranking. They've been a slow starting team. We saw them a couple of weeks ago against Ohio be tied at halftime. They trailed Cincinnati 17-3 last week before they came back to win rather convincingly. But still, John Cooper has not been happy with the way his team has done any facet of the game. He hopes for a quick start in this one against Wisconsin today. For the third week, a very unique situation for Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez, their head coach, faces knee replacement surgery at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota on Tuesday. He spent the second half of the Cincinnati upset loss 2 weeks ago in the box. He spent all of the loss to Michigan last week in that same press box with his assistant coaches. Not a bad place to be, but it's not the sideline. And this is a team that very much reflects the personality of their coach. I asked Barry Alvarez how much personality his team loses with him not on the sideline.
You try to prepare them for that. Try to be honest with them. It bothers me not to be on the sideline, not to be there with them, looking in the eye, talking with the kids, communicating with them. Just the fact, if you're up front with the kids and you prepare them for change, then I think you get a carryover.
He was in a tremendous amount of pain in the locker room before the game, they just told me. I talked to Coach Alvarez earlier. He made the announcement that Brooks Bollinger, the redshirt freshman quarterback, will be the starter for the Badgers today, maybe to try to give Ron Dayne a little bit of help, as Ron Dayne in the game will continue to try to make history as he tries to catch Ricky Williams. In the game today, we'll watch that. We'll take a look at the Heisman race update with Peter Warwick having a tremendous game today, and a 2-time Heisman winner, Archie Griffin, will be along with Lynn Swan live as we have the Badgers and the Buckeyes coming up next.
Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I linked up 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, and 7,000 troops. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Thank you.
By the time we hit 30, we don't have to invest much in combs. So I started using Rogaine when I was like 28 at the first sign of fallout. Before I looked like I needed it, because I knew I would. So here I am. I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, right at the source of the problem, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him. Simple, safe, smart. Rogaine. It's stronger than heredity.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
Stop it! Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be 2 kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. So we called Dell. Dell came to see us and showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell support, there's no limit to where we can go. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
The shoe in Columbus is full today. The shoes next to me filled by my partner Dean Blevins, and Barry Alvarez tells us his redshirt freshman quarterback's going to be the man today.
That is big news that you came up with. And you know, Brooks Bollinger is the guy that I guess Barry Alvarez is going to have that knee replacement surgery. He only hopes that his quarterback replacement surgery is not as painful as that's going to be. I mean, this guy Brooks Bollinger is going to be a star. I like him. He is a tough kid, but it's a tough place to debut. I played in this stadium, and it is tough for a young kid. He's a redshirt freshman. He's a good thrower. He's very mobile, so he has the tools. His job today is to have enough success to open up the running lanes for a guy named Ron Dayne.
Well, Ron Dayne was shut out by Michigan in the second half. They don't want that to happen here in Columbus today. And Ohio State with that high-scoring offense, Lynn Swann, they want to put some points on the board and do it early.
Well, you know, you talk about stopping Ron Dayne, and what you have to do is obviously tack him deep before he gets your head of steam. But the best way to stop him is for the offense to score and score early. Now, that said, it's not been an easy thing for the Ohio State Buckeyes. In all 4 games they have trailed. They have only had a lead once going into the second half of the football game. You've got to put pressure on them, force Wisconsin to throw the football. And you know why? Well, I know you know why. Because Ron Dayne has 0 catches as a receiver. When they're behind, it's tough for them to catch up, Brad.
They're never going to think that Ron Dayne's Lynn Swann, I'll tell you that much. We are all set. Ohio State won the toss and deferred. Wisconsin will receive, and that's Nick Davis, and he is one dangerous return man. He and Michael Bennett waiting on Dan Stoltz' kick, and in Columbus, we're underway. Great kick by Stoltz. Davis won't have a chance. 8 yards deep. He'll take a knee. The starting lineup, the Chili starting front wall. The big uns up front for Wisconsin. McIntosh is an Outland Trophy candidate and an All-American. Ferrario, Raybach, Costa, and Tauscher. Chris Chambers, a career high in catches and yardage last week. They're going to need him today. Nick Davis, the other wideout. Sigmund is the tight end. Brooks Bollinger to start at quarterback. His first start of his collegiate career. Chad Coons is the lead man for Ron Dayne. And there is the man, Ron Dayne. A little over 1,100 yards from passing Ricky Williams. I think he could care less about all the Heisman talk, the All-American talk, and the rushing record, because right now Wisconsin needs a win after back-to-back losses to Cincinnati and Michigan. Dayne's probably 1 carry away from supplanting Archie Griffin and the all-time NCAA rushing list. There's the give to Dayne. That's not quite enough. Pickup of 2. And a fired-up defensive front for Ohio State. They've been talking all week about playing against Dayne, and all of these players have said that's something that we can't be intimidated by. We have to treat him like any other running back, even though he may not be. A pickup of 2. Archie Griffin next on the rushing list. He's here, obviously, as assistant athletic director at Ohio State. He's with Lynn Swann. It's 2nd down and 8. Draw play. Dayne. That should be enough. Not much of a gain. But that's 1 more notch up the ladder. Lynn Swann's with Archie.
Archie, you've been such a gracious record holder. Your impressions of Ron Dayne?
He's done it for 4 years now at the Wisconsin. Just done a tremendous job. I really like the way that he represents his school, and I really appreciate the way that he stayed in college to play this 4th year, because I thought he'd have been a first-round draft choice.
Following your footsteps in a lot of ways. Thank you, Archie.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks, guys. 3rd down and 6. Bollinger's first pass, slant, 1st down. Nope, in and out of the hands. Are they going to call it a fumble? Yes, Ohio State's got it. And it's Niall Diggs with a fumble recovery.
Well, an inauspicious beginning for Chris Chambers. Last week he dropped a touchdown pass, or it could have been a touchdown pass, and this week he makes a nice grab. Take a look at it from the goalpost and watch Nate Clemens, number 20, terrific cornerback, good stick, and a horrible start for Wisconsin.
It sets Ohio State up at the 34-yard line. Not Bollinger's problem there as he talks to Jay Horton, the quarterback's coach. Great field position for Ohio State at the Badger 34. Belisari, straight run here for the left-hander. And he's inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Ohio State offensively. They're Chili's front wall. Here's the big eaters for the Buckeyes. Walter, Gurr, Murphy, Gilbert, and Fleming. The wideouts, very dangerous. Kenyon Rambo's become a huge big play artist. Reggie Germany, the other wideout, and Hauser starts today at tight end. And in the backfield, this is only Steve Belisari's third start. Wiley and Matt Keller, their captain, the fullback, who's in front of Wiley in the eye, is back after 3 weeks out with an injury. 2nd and 4. Belisari comes up throwing, almost intercepted by a good one. Jamar Fletcher, an All-American candidate, out on the corner for the Badgers. Here's how Wisconsin looks up front. They're starting 4. Kalaji, Malik, both a little banged up. Bryant's becoming a sack master, and John Favre is an Ohio native. The linebacking core, the Thompsons, along with Godorsey. And in the secondary, I already mentioned Jamar Fletcher, 7 interceptions a year ago. Eccles mans the other side, and Myers and Doring are the safeties.
Belisari's playing quarterback because he's a terrific athlete. All afternoon, they will have him on the corner as they did on the first play when he kept it.
2 tight end set on 3rd and 4. Rambo, the lone wideout for Belisari. And it's just a counter with Wiley, and Wiley's got a first down. It appears at the 23. Maybe close enough to measure. Michael Wiley, 5.8 a carry, and 5 touchdowns. Yeah, they're a little bit short. Or did they move it? Nope, they got it.
Well, as Len mentioned, Ohio State has been such a poor first quarter team. They got a break. They've got a short field. That's what they wanted from their defense. And now we'll find out if they can take advantage of it.
At the 24-yard line, Wiley now goes out on a wing to the top of your screen and is back in motion. First down, Buckeyes. Belisari, plenty of time. He's going to take off on his own. Didn't get much. Nice coverage by the Wisconsin secondary. I think he wanted Reggie Germany down in the end zone.
You know, sometimes when you have a linebacker's mentality the way Belisari does, it really gets to you, and it's not sometimes you make bad decisions. Watch Belisari here, the quarterback. He's handed off. He decides now he's going to become a blocker. I've never seen this. 8 yards back, he goes down for a collision. That may look good and neat to the guys at home. The coaching staff hates that.
You said you didn't throw a lot of those, didn't you?
I sure did. I ducked them.
2nd down and 8 at the 22. Belisari, 5 touchdowns. Rambo's become his main man. Keller, the fullback. And Matt broke a tackle, bounces his way down to about the 16-yard line. It'll bring up another 3rd down, but right now let's check in New York with John Saunders.
Brad, it's time for the Burger King update. Purdue against Michigan, and the Boilermakers get derailed. Drew Brees, what a year he's been having. He was sacked twice today, only had 1 sack in all his previous games. Here he's picked off by Larry Foote. And the nation's longest winning streak comes to an end as Michigan knocks off Purdue 38-12. Brad.
All right, John, here, no score, but Ohio State trying to change that. Another 3rd down situation, 3rd and 2. And it's Wiley again. And he broke a tackle. He's got a first down and then some. Inside the 10. It's 1st and goal, Ohio State. Pickup of 7. And a nifty run by Michael Wiley.
Wonderful job by the offensive line of Ohio State. And one of the things that Belisari brings is they're having to look for him on the bootleg. That will create holes for Michael Wiley, and he's able to take advantage of it there.
Wisconsin does seem cognizant of that fact and a little bit on their heels by Belisari's running ability.
Containment is really on their minds this afternoon.
1st and goal at the 9. Nice play fake, and now Belisari comes out running again inside the 5 and down to the 2. Chris Godorsey saved a touchdown. What sets Belisari apart is he's a big guy and he can still run.
Well, you know the difference in Belisari and a lot of quarterbacks. This is why he's playing, guys. He's going to come around here in the defense. We just talked about containment. They're going to be in position. But Belisari is just good enough to make it happen on his own.
Remember, he was their special teams player of the year last season. You don't usually go from being a special teams star to the star quarterback. Rambo, the lone wideout, 2 tight end set. 2nd and goal, Ohio State at the Wisconsin 2. It's Wiley on a toss. Didn't get there. Nice play defensively by Jason Doring from his safety spot.
Ohio State in this situation likes to run what they call a jumbo set. And they'll bring big LaCharles Bentley, 68, in, and they'll set him back really in the backfield. Pretty good looking. I mean, you get a 295 guy back there, but they get a bunch of beef up there, and they just power it right at you.
They didn't get anything on that one. Maybe a foot. 3rd down and goal.
Nope, not doing it here.
Not this time, but Belisari, will they try to roll him out to give him an option? 9th play of the drive following the fumble recovery. They'll go straight ahead when Wiley dives and fumble. And Wisconsin's got it in the end zone. Wiley went airborne, was hit in midair, and the fumble recovery in the end zone. I think it was Chris Gadorsey that got ahead of it.
Gadorsey, a great attacker. He does it here. That's the only way to keep points from being put on the board by Ohio State. Gadorsey.
So Wisconsin's got it back. They'll work from the 20 when we come back.
I'm Steve Kirby. These are my mountains. I test emissions for Ford Motor Company. We're up here in the Rockies testing Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury sport utility vehicles. We're really concerned about the environment. Every SUV we sell this year is going to be low emissions. These vehicles average 35% less smog-forming emissions than the government requires. 35%. That's really amazing. The government doesn't make us do this. We're doing this for my mountains. Better ideas driven by you.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Now, the Water Boy is yours to own for the first time.
You can do it!
Plus, you can enter to win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl in New Orleans to see the BCS National Championship game as an honorary Water Boy.
Oh! I think that's sexy.
Grab your copy of The Water Boy. Take it home on video and DVD and enter today.
You know, I wonder if you can fix that truck again.
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Some people have strengths. Some people have their garage.
You have meditated for 3 months.
Yes, Master.
And what have you learned?
One thing, Master.
Yes?
Nobody in the world sells more real estate than Remax.
Remax Associates average more experience and more sales than other real estate agents. So why in the world would you ever call anyone else?
You have done well, my son.
Thank you, Master.
Remax helped us find this place, you know.
Cool.
I'm telling you, Michigan State. We're heading north. But I told these guys we'd take them to Miami, Florida State.
Well, number 5 right there, Michael Wiley, has had fumbleitis up here in Buckeye land. And watch the tailback here. This is not a good play by Michael Wiley, and it'll cost him 7 points. Nice tackle, but watch the ball. You've got to take care of that. That's a 7-point play.
Gadorsey with a hit. Sam Miller with the fumble recovery. Wiley and Derek Combs both had fumbles against Cincinnati last week, and the turnover margin for Wisconsin not what it once was. John Cooper's, I think, talking to his starting backfield about ball security as well. Meanwhile, the Badgers take over. First down at their own 20-yard line. Nice play fake by Bollinger. Comes up throwing to Coons, the fullback. And Chad Coons has got it out. About an 8-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2. Chili's defensive front for Ohio State. Bailey Pickett, Collins, and Brent Johnson, the veteran, who was all Big Ten second team a year ago. The linebacking core, Niall Diggs, an All-American, already a fumble recovery today. Ott had a good game last week. Cortland Buller, they say, has to raise his level of play. Clemens and Plummer man the corners. Percy King starts today for Gary Berry, who Dean mentioned, their leading tackler out. Donnie Nicky, the other safety. It's 2nd down and a deuce for the Badgers. Dayne might have a first down at the 30. Just had to get to the stripe. Appears he did behind Dave Costa, his right guard. Mike Collins made the tackle. And as you saw, Ron Dayne has now patched Archie Griffin into the number 6 spot, or number 5 spot rather, all time, and 81 more yards to get to Herschel Walker. Of course, atop that rushing list somewhere down the line of 1,100 yards plus coming into this one is Ricky Williams, a sensational back from Texas, a Heisman Trophy winner of a year ago. Only 6 yards on 3 carries so far, though, for Ron. It's been tough sledding, much like the second half against Michigan a week ago. But he can break one at any time. They stretch it out here, and he gets out to the 35. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6. Percy King, the free safety, made the stop.
Well, you called it. That's the stretch play. They like to run that about 10 times or a dozen a game. It's been their bread and butter play. They used to, as a man is down, they used to average 7.5 yards on that play, and now last week it was down to 3.
Well, so many people get down on Ron Dayne because he doesn't have the 100-yard games against the Michigans and those type of people. He had only 1 outing against Ohio State, as we mentioned earlier, as a freshman. 65 yards in his debut here in the Horseshoe back in '96. We'll take a break with Dave Costa down. We'll check out him when we come back.
Long ago, an inventor came up with the assembly line, allowing a few people to make a lot of something. It was the model for efficiency. At Chili's, we pride ourselves for our inefficiency, because we make each of the Big Mouth burgers by hand, grilled one at a time by a person. And when you taste for yourself how good they are, you'll appreciate all the time we've wasted. Chili's fresh grilled Big Mouth burgers, monuments of inefficiency.
We build walls with our everyday routines and our cram-it-all-in schedules. Walls that make a nasty habit of separating us from our dreams. But what if there were no walls? What if there was a way to go anywhere and do anything? There is a way. But for this kind of journey, you're going to need an outfitter. Someone to equip you with the kind of gear that can get you to your dreams. Ford is your outfitter. Offering you the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth. Climb in and watch the walls come tumbling down. Ford Outfitters. No boundaries.
The injured Badger was John Sigmund, the tight end. I may have said Dave Costa, the guard. They help him off the field. It's a 2nd down and 5 coming up for Wisconsin. Right now they're doing what they want to do on offense, so Dino.
Well, on 1st down, they want to gain at least 4 yards. They did that, and they also got Bollinger outside, which that opens it up 2nd and shorter for the running game.
Here's the 2nd and 5. Here he is on the rollout, and he's going to keep it. Nice sidestep by Bollinger back to the middle of the field. And there's something that, quite frankly, Scott Kavanaugh could not give Wisconsin. That's going to be a 1st down scramble by Bollinger.
Well, perfect time to throw in our Dell Game Solutions. Big plays from the guy who just made a big play for Coach Alvarez. This guy can do it. Can he do it today as a redshirt freshman? And on the other side of the ball, defensively, they can't give Rambo, excuse me, the rainbow bombs, because he's been doing that to defenses as Ohio State goes deep quite often.
Barry Alvarez, you see in the coach's box instead of the sideline. And again, if you just joined us, knee replacement surgery Tuesday is what he has ahead of him. And so this is really the 3rd game that he's had to be off the sideline and in the box. But he's seen his team move it out to a 1st down at the 41-yard line. 2 tight end set. And it's a counter to Dayne, following his blockers. And the big fella goes right up his fullback's rump out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's what they say about the fullbacks at Wisconsin. If you want the glory of carrying the ball a lot, don't come here. But if you want a lead block for somebody and catch some passes, and Chad Coons does that as well, maybe as anybody they've ever had.
Well, they love him. Brian White says that he is the best in the Big Ten, one of the best that he's ever seen. 41 can do it. They get quarterback play. This could be a very explosive offense.
Well, they got what they wanted and then some on your 1st down call, Dino. 6 on 1st down. It's 2nd and 4. It's Dayne again. Trying to weave his way this time, trying to bounce off, and he takes a few would-be tacklers with him for a very hard 1 yard. Jason Ott is the first guy that got there, and then Donnie Nicky, the safety, cleans up.
Well, already Bollinger is accomplishing what he wants to accomplish, because what they're trying to get is not 8 men in the box, not 9 men. John Cooper told us if it takes 10, 11, 12, you know, we'll put all of them in there. And Bollinger already has gotten Ohio State into a 4-deep secondary.
Brett Puckett, the defensive coordinator, said we can't play with 12, can we? That's how many they would have thought about putting up there.
That's only down at Texas A&M.
That's right. Eddie Faulkner checks in at the tailback spot. This is a look that you would think Wisconsin would throw from. 3rd down and 3. There's the play fake, and he's going deep, and he way overshot his intended receiver. Chris Chambers was out there, but so was Percy King and Ahmed Plummer. So they tried a home run ball to try to loosen things up, and Wisconsin had something going, but now they've got to kick it away.
Got some pressure on him. Haven't had a lot of pressure this year. And Bollinger, watch the young quarterback back here. He feels the pressure. He sees his guy's not open. He says, I'm going to throw it away.
Throw it where nobody can get it, and there's where it landed, way downfield.
Believe it or not, that's graded a plus when they look at tape.
Stemke now to punt. He's a good one. Clements is waiting on it on the other end. And this was not a good punt. And Clements, oh boy, did he get a fortuitous bounce. Penalty marker down. And I don't know if they're going to call that he had called for a fair catch and then tried to advance it, or if he wasn't given enough room to make the catch. One of those two, I would assume, is coming up from Dick Honig, our referee. And it's going to go against Wisconsin. So a short kick and a bad play by the special teams is going to give Ohio State some nice field position. They didn't give him the 6-foot window that you're supposed to give a punt returner.
Well, the punt returner didn't know about the flag. What I'm seeing is a team that's still not totally focused. The fumble from Wiley, right, inexcusable. You don't do that. Good teams catch punts like that, Nate Clements.
And the first 9 minutes of this football game, it has been again a rather slow starting Ohio State team. And now we've got our timeout with 5 minutes 55 seconds to go, first quarter. No score in Columbus.
Out here, the stories unfold like a map. Stories written across the sky with the tip of an eagle's wing. Stories to fill a scrapbook you'd want to page through again and again. But first, you've got to go to where the stories live. You'll need an outfitter for the journey. Ford is your outfitter. With the most far-reaching sport utilities on Earth, created to take you where the stories begin and never end. Ford Outfitters. No boundaries.
Where will you be when your children find their life's passion? Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
This better be good, Captain. Lettuce field in California taken yesterday afternoon, and this morning.
So?
Florida, tomato field taken yesterday, and today. Now we're tracking a bacon train.
Sir, this is live.
Chicken truck convoy. What does it all mean?
Next week, Burger King solves this mystery in a big way. Burger King, have it your way.
I see it, dead people.
12 Monkeys, ABC tonight.
Back in Columbus, 5:55 to go first quarter. No score. Wisconsin and Ohio State with Dean Blevins and Lynn Swan. Brad Nessler with you. Beautiful day in Big Ten country. And Ohio State takes over. Wiley, who fumbled in the end zone his last trip, lines up at the tailback spot from the 28. He gets the call. And he's wrapped up at about the 31-yard line. Let's get a wrap-up on a game and go to New York and John Saunders. John?
Brad, you know in the Big Ten they had a handful of unbeaten teams coming into the game. This one is overtime between Illinois and Indiana. Antoine Randall L., 25 yards, part of 422 yards of total offense. Ron Williams with the catch there. Indiana wins it in overtime, 34-31. Minnesota remains 4-0 for the first time since '87.
Big Ten, a lot of balance and a lot of good teams. Glenn Mason doing a good job in Minneapolis. Belisari's going to go deep. Kenyon Rambo had it on his fingertips. Fletcher was there with him stride for stride. They both ran a long way for nothing. Good looking ball out there, and he put it where Rambo could get it.
Well, the last 3 weeks, Kenyon Rambo has been the man. It's like Belisari says, go deep. This one's not a deep route in the end zone. Touchdown there. This looks a little bit more, it's an intermediate route, but really they like to go deep. And actually, Brad, he was open on the last play, which was very similar to this.
There's one of the rainbows you talked about. So they tried to put one out there, but there wasn't a pot of gold on the end of it, and it brings up 3rd down and 7. 3 wide outs for Belisari. Blitz coming from the corner. He's got all kinds of daylight in front of him and throws across the middle. 1st down. Out near midfield. Chad Cascio, their 3rd wide out, makes a catch at the 50, a pickup of 19.
That's when you get in the huddle and you say, Henry, Ben, Kurt, that's the offensive lineman's first names. You say, thanks. What a terrific job.
They gave him all kinds of time.
I'm just going to count this for you. But watch the offensive line here just do a terrific job. Yep, this is real time. 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, and still no one even touched him after he threw it.
And right out to midfield. Belisari came on in relief of Austin Mockerman 3 weeks ago and has become one of the favorites in this city. So desperate to find a leader at quarterback, and he's been the man. Here he is on the option. And now a cutback, and he's got some room in front of him. Broke a tackle and then tried to go over another. Jason Doring, the 2 number 8s just collided. Whoa. That's a physical quarterback.
We're going to see option from both clubs today. Belisari goes right, doesn't see what he likes, has the athletic ability to come back here, and a poor job by Lazowski, or you could say a great job by the quarterback, who then lowers that shoulder. They still don't like seeing him lower that shoulder, do they?
Mike Jacobs said, you know, we got to keep you in there. Would you watch out on some of those kinds of things? The offensive coordinator for Ohio State, we were kidding around with him the other day about the physical play of Belisari. They would like him sometimes to choose to bail out of those situations. That's not his personality. Here he is on play action. Throws a rocket to Reggie Germany down to the 23-yard line. Bobby Myers was there, but the ball was there quicker.
So many times when you hear a guy is an athlete, the stereotype is, well, he can't throw the football. Folks, this guy can throw the long ball. He can throw the intermediate ball. You give him that protection on play action. This is a throw. And the reason that was complete was because of the velocity on the ball.
It got there fast. Reggie Germany saw it into his hands for a 1st down just outside the 22. Long handoff, Wiley. Nice wrap-up by Jason Doring, who's making a lot of tackles. That's not necessarily a good sign for Wisconsin. He made the stop after a pickup of about 4. Coming up tomorrow night on ESPN, the Raiders' all-time leading receiver, Tim Brown, leads Oakland into Seattle to take on Mike Holmgren Seahawks. And on Monday Night Football, AFC East Showdown, it'll be Buffalo and Miami. Eric Moulds will be catching some balls from Doug Flutie, and I'm sure Dan Marino will have something to say about that as well. There's their season comparison so far. Those two square off 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, the 30th anniversary season of ABC's Monday Night Football. Matt Keller is the man that's down on the field right now. And remember, he had missed 2.5 games with a bad ankle and was so excited about being able to get back on the field today. We talked to him about the matchup against Wisconsin in the Big Ten, and in the captain's meeting, he told his guys, we got to be ready for this big outing on Saturday.
Well, I just tell the guys every week, you're given an opportunity, and not many people get the opportunity to go out and play in front of 93,000 on national television. You know, and this week it's Wisconsin Big Ten opener. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah, I'm sure the goosebumps are for a different reason right now, favoring that ankle as it comes off.
Yeah, I heard that ankle earlier against UCLA. He's a battering ram, but more importantly, I think, Brad, he's a leader, and he's a guy that you heard him say the goosebumps. He's a guy that gets in the huddle and can show some emotion, and that's what this club needs more than anything, particularly its offensive line.
He says it's been nice to see the development of Belisari and Rambo and some of the other guys to try to take a leadership role, but he says, I'm the guy. I need to be out there. He's not out there now. You can see the disgust on his face Whether or not it was the ankle he re-injured or something else, we'll check on it. Meanwhile, Jamar Martin in for him on a 2nd down and 6. Wiley, does he want to throw off this? He does. Wide open, Wisniewski down to the 1-foot line. Pick up of 17 on the halfback option. Wisniewski didn't start the game. Wiley had a fumble in the end zone. Maybe they both made up a little ground on that play.
Well, the secondary bites on this. If you'll stop it right there, you can see right there, you're beaten.
Nobody home.
Yeah, and so what happens tonight is Wisniewski says, come on, man, can't you throw it better than that, Michael? I got 6 if you throw it just a little bit better.
He laid out for it to make the grab inside the 1, where Wiley does the rest. Touchdown, Ohio State. And now some happy Buckeyes in the end zone. The first score of the day with 2:36 to go. An 8-play drive. A lot of variation from the offense to take it 72 yards. Wiley does the honors on the last 2 plays. First with his right arm, and then with his legs from a yard out. It's Stultz for the point after. And the kick is up and good. 2:36 left in the quarter. 7-0 Ohio State, Lynn Swan.
That's right, Brad. And, you know, football games are a lot of small battles to come up with a win. One of the battles that Ohio State had to win today was to be a better team in the first half. Look at that graphic. They've been behind in every game they've played so far this year, and only once have they had a lead going into the second half. So in this first quarter, with 2:36 to go, the fact that they get on the scoreboard, take advantage of this opportunity because they missed the first opportunity to score after the turnover, this is a small win for Ohio State. What they have to continue to do now is to still move the football, put the pressure on Wisconsin, force them to feel like they've got to throw the ball, and that takes Ron Dayne out of the ballgame.
Great point, Swanee. That could change Wisconsin. It won't probably on this drive, but if they get another score, it could certainly alter what Wisconsin might want to do. Wisconsin will just go back to business after this kickoff. They'd like to get a kickoff return, but Stultz didn't allow that last time. He knocked it about 9 yards in the end zone. And again, Nick Davis, one of the return men down there for the Badgers, hopes to get a chance. He might this time. Nope, deep again. He'll have to take a knee one more time. Wisconsin will work from the 20. So John Cooper's got to be happy to be on the board 7-0. But he wasn't happy all week long and talked about all the things he feels his team is failing to do this year.
We're not getting easy touchdowns. We're not making things happen on special teams. We haven't intercepted a pass and run it back for a touchdown. We haven't blocked a kicking for a touchdown yet. And we spent a lot of time on that at Ohio State. So I'm going to be disappointed if that stage of the game doesn't perk up in this ballgame.
7-0 Buckeyes. Third straight start for the Badgers from their own 20. Let's see if they might not throw on first down. Bollinger. A quick out, a one-hopper intended for Davis, incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford Outfitters. No boundaries. Burger King, when you have it your way, it just tastes better. The Water Boy touchdown home video scores with outrageous bonus footage. And Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time. You get a great look at the horseshoe covering today's game. The Goodyear blimp Spirit of Akron, one of the 7 blimps in Goodyear's worldwide airship fleet. Nice to have you along with us today, guys. 2nd and 10, Wisconsin. Bollinger trying to get away from the heat, runs right into one of his own men, and now he's swarmed under by the Buckeye defense. A loss of about 3. Brent Johnson and those guys aren't going to give him all day back there. Ryan Pickett, Mike Collins, Brent Johnson, they just sort of collapsed that pocket, and Bollinger couldn't find his way out.
That was a great example, Brad, of the defense just staying in their lanes, doing what they're supposed to do, what your coach will do, and the good things happen. The defense makes a great charge. They hold their lanes or push in the middle of the back. Quarterback's looking, decides to run, but everybody's right there. Once they see him, they start to run. They crash in on him. Great coaching and great execution on that play.
This is not the kind of spot Wisconsin likes to find themselves in. 3rd down and 13. They do have 3 wideouts in the play, including Chambers in motion. Here comes Diggs on a blitz. Bollinger loads, going long for Chambers on a sideline route. Incomplete. Ahmed Plummer was right there with him. And Wisconsin's 3 and out. They'll have to give it up. And now the Ohio State crowd, Dean, on its feet, something they weren't a week ago.
Well, they want to get into this game. They just haven't had anything in the first few games to get excited about early. And the defense of Wisconsin better get after it here, because they were saved by the fumble from Wiley on the first series. Couldn't stop him on the second. And they don't want to fall behind 14-0 at the Horseshoe.
Stempke backed up inside his own 5. Had an awful first punt. Nate Clements waits on the other end of his second attempt, and this one's no better, maybe worse. A guy averaging almost 44 yards a kick, and that one dribbles out of bounds 31 yards later, with Ohio State already in Wisconsin territory, not where they want to have them. The Dell Game Solutions, Dino.
Well, Ohio State came into this game with a slow starting history in the first quarter. They got to score 10-14. They're on their way to doing that. Defensively, they want to hold Ron Dayne to under 90 yards, which surprised me when they told us that, because didn't Michigan hold him to 88?
88.
I'm surprised they didn't say 87 or lower.
Well, Michigan said they wanted to hold him to 80 after the fact, but at any rate, you catch him under 100, it's a rare day for you. Ohio State, great field position. The Badgers 48, end around. Kenyon Rambo, the convoy in front. Rambo inside the 40, down the sideline. Run out of bounds at the 26-yard line. And Thompson had to take him into the kicker's net to bring him down. A pickup of 22 on the end around.
Well, Rambo's going to do his job. He's got the speed to do it. We're going to see it from his perspective, but he got some help from everyone on his team, including Jonathan Wells, 28. You give a guy with that kind of speed a picket fence in a lane, and they're lucky he didn't go all the way.
You know, Michigan had much the same kind of play, only going the other way out to the right side that they scored a touchdown on last week. And other than that, they didn't get much on the ground against the Wisconsin defense. So Ohio State, first down play selection. They've kept it on the ground. Here from the 26. Let's see if they do the same. Rambo in motion. And a little bit of indecision in the backfield, and Belisari now in all kinds of trouble. And boy, he just didn't pull the trigger at all. Ben Herbert got in there to get the sack. Belisari looked like he wanted the play to stop. That just doesn't happen.
No, sometimes you need to just take the loss. Realize that it's better to go back to the line of scrimmage. Have an incompletion rather than hold it and hold it. Sometimes being a superb athlete makes you hold the ball longer than you should, because you just assume that you'll be able to escape out of trouble.
It looked like most of the play was going to the right. Belisari had a notion to go to the left, and when there was that indecision in the backfield, he ended up getting sandwiched for a 9-yard loss. Second down and 19. Jonathan Wells in there at tailback, but at the give is to the fullback, Jamar Martin. He doesn't carry it much, but the big fella takes it inside the 30 to the 29. Mike Nichols made the tackle, and that's just about going to eliminate quarter number 1 from the Horseshoe. Ohio State fumbled in the end zone once. Wisconsin had one good drive going and had it stopped, and then a 72-yard march has Ohio State in front, 7-0.
This is a real mom and pop hardware store. I think we have a nice family feel. A couple of months ago, we got a little bump in our car. Oh, we've been with our State Farm agent for 26 years. Because I think he puts his personal self into it. Just like we do at the hardware store, he actually listens to what your needs are. It makes me feel pretty important.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
You can't put a price on a good relationship.
At BASF, we don't make the boat, we make it faster. We don't make the safety seat, we make it more comfortable. We don't make the studio, we make it quieter. We don't make the golf clubs, we make them more powerful. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
National Car Rental presents Drive for the National Championship. In 1981, the Clemson Tigers hosted the defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs, led by Heisman winner Herschel Walker. The Clemson defense forced 9 Georgia turnovers en route to a 13-3 win, and the national championship. This year's national champion will be crowned in the title game of the Bowl Championship Series.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Join the National Football League. Or take your kids to a national park. But wherever you go, National will get you there fast. Because with hundreds of locations nationwide, it's hard to find a place that's not a national city. Whoa! National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go!
Though only a touchdown difference, the first quarter dominated really by Ohio State. They lead it 7-0 on a Michael Wiley 1-yard plunge. And his other plunge from a yard out ended up with a fumble in the end zone. Kenyon Rambo smiling. He hasn't done anything huge today except that last end around of 22 yards that got him down in the position they're in right now. 3rd down and 13. Belisari from the shotgun. And he's just going to take off with it. Belisari inside the 20, looks to be about a yard shy of the first down, but that's just a straight direct snap takeoff for the quarterback.
Well, it'll be interesting. It looks like they're going to try to just take the 3 here. But great job of controlling the game offensively for Ohio State in the first quarter. They established a dominance in the line. With first drive, they had 8 runs, 1 pass, and fumbles. Then they came back and scored. They split it up there then with 4 runs, 4 passes. Then they get the reverse. So they really have Wisconsin off balance defensively.
Stultz 4 out of 6. This is a 35-yard field goal attempt. Keep in mind Belisari is the holder. He'll spot it down at the 25. Stultz got it up and good. So they tack 3 more onto their leading total. As Dean said, they'd like to score 10 or 14 in the first quarter. It only took them 45 seconds into the second quarter to get their 10th point. 10-0, the Buckeyes out in front, and that guy has not been out there too much today so far, and he's really had to work for his 19 yards.
Well, even though they are getting something out of the quarterback position with Brooks Bollinger, they've got to get more. I mean, you get into a game like this where you've got an explosive offense from Ohio State that is now showing some consistency, and your defense that you've relied on all season is not up to the challenge so far. You've got to come out and make something happen, and if Bollinger can do it, Dayne opens up and they can get rolling. This is a critical drive for these guys.
And again, now this time Stultz will kick into the wind. Barry Alvarez looks down on the booth to our right with the rest of his assistant coaches. And as I was saying, now with the change, the wind's a little bit in the other direction. You know, number 22 hopes to get his mitts on this one. He's a great return man, and Dan Stultz would like to keep it out of his hands if at all possible. And they're just going to pooch it. Taken by Wisconsin at the 33-yard line. One of the up guys, Jake Sprague, the tight end, makes the grab there. Wisconsin trots back out. Ron Dayne, we talked about what he's done against teams in the Big Ten. Only 1 start against Ohio State. He was a freshman. Carl McCullough was the leading rusher in that game. Michigan, we know about the 88 a week ago, has averaged only 70 in his matchups with the Wolverines. 116 against Penn State. And then the rest of the Big Ten, the non-Big Three, if you will. You saw how his chart climbed over the course of those other teams. He wants to start climbing a chart right now, but Niall Diggs is saying, you know what, I think we're ready for you. And they whistle this one dead before it really gets underway. Flag down.
Prior to the snap, full start on the offense. 5 yards, remains first down.
So it's going to be 1st and 15. Wisconsin, Lynn Swann doesn't have their regular tight end in there. He went out earlier.
John Sigmund's on the bench. He hurt his right knee. They've got ice on it. He will not come back in for the rest of the ball game. And I'd just like to comment a little bit about Ron Dayne. And he's got a young quarterback in there in terms of Bollinger. And I don't think you can really ask Bollinger to do a whole lot more right now. What Dayne has to do is take control and loosen up the quarterback, make him feel more comfortable and confident, and then let him try and pick his way through the air down the field. That way, I think it's more controllable.
1st and 15 to work with here. It's a toss to Dayne, looking for room, none out there. All over is Ohio State, and Ryan Pickett and company stretched that one out beautifully. And the big fella goes down, or actually about a yard loss. He's only got 19 yards on 7 carries.
Well, this is why Ron Dayne does not have the numbers. Is he the same guy? Yeah. Is he healthy? Better than he's been in a long time. It's a toss sweep, and look at Ohio State string it out. They have that play completely blanketed. That's not Ron Dayne's fault.
That was the blanket we saw come over the screens, as a matter of fact. 2nd down, 15. 10-0 Buckeyes. Some confusion in the Wisconsin backfield, but the throw's complete. It's to the tight end across the 40, and out to about the 42 is Dayne Retzlaff, the backup quarterback, or the backup tight end rather, that's in there with Sigmund out with an injury. And the big fella, 6'8", 276-pounder, gets it out to the 42.
Yeah, what we're going to see is all the flow goes this way, and it looked confusing. May have been. But Bollinger knew where he was going, and he knew he had his tight end underneath. Not the easiest throw. You got someone near you. Little dump off rolling left. Gets him in a 3rd and short.
I guess it was his right guard, Dave Costa, that made that play look funny. His pull to the left side was so deep he almost ran into his quarterback. 3rd down and 3. Bollinger comes up throwing behind Chambers, and it hit Nate Clements right in the noggin, I think. That's what Nate's holding on to, is his helmet. And Wisconsin has to kick it again. So far, Bollinger looks rattled and not consistent, much like he was in the camp this summer when they expected that maybe he'd come to the forefront. He's having some trouble out there today.
Well, that's a 1-2-3 step drop. Get rid of it. Man open. You got to hit that. I mean, you've got to hit that 90% of the time. That wasn't close.
Stempke'd like to hit a sweet spot in this football. His first 2 punts have been atrocious. It's 4th and 3. Nate Clements on the other end. See if Ohio State brings it after it. Well, this one's high in the air, but it's not that deep. Clements, fair catch, taken way up at the 27-yard line. Another 31-yard punt. Brooks Bollinger talking with his quarterback coach, hoping for better things to come in this one.
This better be good, Captain. Lettuce field in California taken yesterday afternoon and this morning. So? Florida, tomato field taken yesterday. And today. Now we're tracking a bacon train.
Sir, this is live.
Chicken truck convoy. What does it all mean?
Next week, Burger King solves this mystery in a big way. Burger King. Have it your way.
Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, check out the powerful Silverado, the rugged S10, the driving security of Blazer, the legendary Suburban, and the agile, durable Chevy Tracker. During Chevy Truck Month, you'll find the biggest selection of the year on the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Chevy trucks.
You're born, you die. In between, you work on cars. We should all be so lucky.
Who can solve this? Mr. Montez.
Last Saturday in the Army Reserve, I linked up 40 tanks, 60 Humvees, and 7,000 troops. On Monday, class was no sweat.
Not bad, Mr. Montez.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
One moment can make the difference between going home and going home a champion. Michelle Kwan, Maria Butirskaya, the rematch next Sunday on ABC.
10-0 Ohio State here in Columbus at the Horseshoe. Their 87th season of Big Ten football, and 78 of them at this facility that's getting a facelift, a major money facelift in the next couple of seasons. Wisconsin's had terrible field position. Ohio State hasn't been part of the story of this ball game. This time the Buckeyes work from their own 27. Belisari straight ahead. Jamar Martin at fullback, and he takes a couple guys with him. Donnell Thompson's holding on for dear life. Out to the 31. Pickup of about 4. Martin's going to have to carry him majority of the load at the fullback spot now today if Matt Keller cannot come back in there.
This is when you like being offensive coordinator. When your offensive line dominates, when you drive it down, you don't like to fumble the first series, but then you get it back, you go pass run, defense is off balance, you score, you get the lead. This is when it's fun and easy. Sometimes it's not so fun, like the guy coaching the White.
Belisari wants Rambo here on an out. Got him. First down to the 46-yard line. And Rambo working out there again on Jamar Fletcher.
Those are two good players there, Rambo and Fletcher. Both guys you'll see play on Sundays. And this wasn't an easy throw from Belisari. Watch this matchup here. Fletcher can play man-to-man about as well as anyone.
I think this is going to be a matchup down the road that might be equivalent to David Boston and Charles Woodson. Do you think?
Absolutely. You saw a great route, a great catch, great defense, but also the most important thing there, the great throw.
Belisari wants another throw. This one's short, and that's something Jamar Martin does not do well, though it was a nice hit by Donnell Thompson, the linebacker. Let's get an update on Matt Keller's injury. Swanee, what do you got?
Well, you were right, Brad. He has re-injured that same ankle, aggravated it. What they're going to do is keep some ice on it, take him into the locker room, and reevaluate it at halftime. And I think what that means is that Matt will have a chance to try and convince them he can come back out and play if he can somehow reduce the pain in that ankle.
I tell you what, he's a guy that will do all the lobbying he can. He's a very engaging young fella and was so excited to be out here today, and then was injured in the first quarter. So Jamar Martin is the man now at fullback, and Wiley at the tail. It's second down and 10, Ohio State. Wiley on a counter. Got a big hole. Across the 50. And Wiley's got a first down at the 44 of Wisconsin. This is as good probably as we've seen Michael Wiley look, and this is the third time we've seen him in person this year.
And the reason he's looking good, Belisari is loosening it up. And then also, watch 77 here. Tyson Walter will get a great block. Keep an eye on the tackle as he will clear the way. Coming around. Boom.
Oh, he sealed off Donnell Thompson, didn't he?
You could have had 7. How many did he get?
He got 11.
No, you'd had 6.
First down at the 44. 10-0 Buckeyes with 11:10 left in the half. Wiley got a nice block again, this time from Ben Gilbert, his right guard, and he blasts forward to about the 40-yard line. Coming up next Saturday, many of you will see number 4 Michigan, led by running back Anthony Thomas. He'll take on 14th ranked Michigan State. And the rest of you will see a battle in Florida, in Tallahassee. That's where I'll be, Florida State and the Hurricanes. That's next Saturday, noon Eastern on ABC. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Call your cable operator, DirecTV or Dish Network for all the games on pay-per-view. There's a good look if you have the great seat that the Goodyear blimp has. And down into the horseshoe. We're at the 40-yard line at 2nd and 6. Belisari wants it all for Germany. He's got it. Touchdown. He just took that thing away from Mike Eccles, I think. The other big play wide receiver. Season-long catch for Reggie Germany. You can get hypnotized by Kenyon Rambo and you forget about number 80 out there. Stokes for the point after. Up and good. 17-0 Ohio State. Mike Eccles was battling back there against Reggie Germany. It's a battle that he lost. Belisari to Germany. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Meet Carlos Sandoval, veteran Navy SEAL, trained to go through anything, equipped to survive it. Introducing the Chevy S10 Survival Pack. CD, automatic, air, aluminum wheels. Over $1,500 in savings and $1,250 cash back. You might think that could weaken a Navy SEAL. Fat chance. The Chevy S10 Survival Pack. Like a rock.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters. And basically, you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
17-0 Ohio State. Belisari, a 40-yard touchdown bomb, capping a 73-yard march. And Belisari 94 yards so far today. They're living with the long ball. Here's the high pooch kick, and it's the tight end with a fair catch call at the 27. Eccles, the man that Reggie Germany out-muscled for that last touchdown. Dino.
Perfect play setup. It's a play fake, and you're going to have Rembo coming here, cleaning out this side of the field. Then that leaves man-to-man on the backside, and you're going to see Reggie Germany going against a good cornerback and Mike Eccles. This is a perfectly thrown ball. I think it's interference there also on Eccles, but a terrific catch. See if you think it's also interference. By the way, the flag was not coming.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was interference, but they didn't need the flag.
At the 28 now, Wisconsin, what they didn't want to find themselves in, a come-from-behind situation. Dayne on the stretch. Nope. Back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe eked out a yard. Rodney Bailey, Jason Ott make the tackle.
Jason Ott had exactly Ott tackles a couple of games ago, but he sniffed that one out. You know, Lynn was talking earlier about Ron Dayne being the guy to need to come up with the plays and to lead. Well, I think that's true, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if it's Bollinger or whomever. You've got to have big plays from someone, and that's the thing that the Wisconsin coaching staff harps on all the time. We don't care who it is, someone make a play.
9:40 left in the half. All Ohio State 17-0. Brad Nessler, Dean Blevins, Lynn Swan from Columbus, Ohio. Big Ten opener for the Buckeyes. And they're out in front of Wisconsin. Bollinger out in front of the defense right now. Took a wicked hit from Niall Diggs, but he did get out to the 37-yard line. Game summary in this one, as you might guess. There was one mistake by Ohio State. It was Wiley's fumble in the end zone. But then he came down through an option pass, a 1-yard dive, put him up 7-0. Belisari moments ago to Reggie Germany, 40 yards for a score. You throw a Stultz field goal in there, and that's where we are. 17-0 Ohio State leads, and Wisconsin's offense has been held without a first down on 3 of their 4 possessions today. They're not doing well on 3rd down either. That's what they have here. But it is 3rd and 1. And it's Ron Dayne. And he's got the first down and the corner. And he's out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. That's maybe the easiest run we've seen Ron have today. The contact wasn't made till it got to the sideline.
You know, I used to play on a team out of the wishbone, and people would say that's a terrible come-from-behind offense. As we see this stretch play to Ron Dayne, they haven't had a lot of success with it, but they go to their bread-and-butter play. Nice push up front. Gives Ron plenty of room. But they've been talking about this Wisconsin team not wanting to play from behind. It's not a good offense to do that in.
Nope. Not with a redshirt freshman quarterback making his first start either. It's a scary situation for Badger fans. But they do have it out to the 44. Nicky Davis in motion. And the throw in and out of the hands of Chad Coons, the fullback. And he was helped with that ball coming out of there from Donnie Nicky.
Donnie Nicky's an underrated strong safety. I think this club really misses the guy that has been there the last few years, and Damon Moore. He is a terrific leader. Yep. Some people believe that he was the heart and soul of this club, and they need that leadership. But Nicky is a very talented player, and he's got 3 more years after this one.
See Fred Puckich talking to his defense. 2nd down and 10. At the 44. Bollinger's got 3 wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. And he goes complete. This time he finally found Chambers, but it's not a first down to the 49-yard line. And that's the first time that he hasn't gone to Chambers in a 3rd down situation. We talked about some of the guys that Ohio State has lost. You don't lose guys like Katzenmoyer, Rodzinski, who's a guy that got him in the right position. Antoine Winfield won the Thorpe. Damon Moore, Dean just mentioned. And then you have the inexperience there on the other side with Ott Bullard, Clements, and Nicky. And Niall Diggs has got to be the guy that kind of digs in and helps that defense solidify against Wisconsin here on a 3rd down and 3. And there's a completion for a first down. Maybe the best pass that Bollinger's thrown all day today goes to Chambers again. First down, Wisconsin at the Ohio State 38-yard line.
You know, just when you get down on Chambers, he comes through with a couple of catches, and he does this regularly. Dayne on Diggs on this play. There's some talent. If he gets his hands up, he knocks that one down. But Bollinger finds this guy underneath. Not much you can do there as Chris Chambers.
I think if he thought he put his hands up any higher, that maybe Ron was going to take his navel away from him. Here's some option. We haven't seen that yet today. Here's a late pitch. Dayne in some open space. And down to about the 32-yard line. That's something Wisconsin would like to do more and more of. The Ohio State defensive coaches, I know, in talking to us, don't think Dayne is a great option tailback, though.
Well, you're right. They don't think east-west is where he excels. And, you know, he likes to get his shoulders north and south. That's when he's going to be at his best. They think that if he comes out of the game, that someone else can do a better job in running that option. I'm surprised they haven't run option more, and would think that we would see it more here.
Well, they haven't panicked on this drive. It's the 8th play of the drive. It's covered 40 yards so far, and a second down and 4. At the Ohio State 32. Faulkner in at the tailback spot. Trying to bounce, and he does, and he's got a first down. Boy, he ran into a stone wall and did a nice little pirouette move to get down to the 25-yard line, and a first down, Wisconsin. They keep the drive alive. Our Aflac trivia question today for you. How many players set the NCAA career rushing record and won the Heisman Trophy in the same year? Lynn Swan came up with this one. He did research all week, and we'll have the answer for you in a few minutes. First down, Wisconsin at the Buckeye 25. Again, Faulkner remains the tailback. But it's Bollinger to throw. Lofton one and threw it way past everybody. Chambers would have been the intended receiver. He ran an out and up, and Ahmed Plummer was with him on both the out and the up.
Yeah, Ahmed Plummer can play, so give him credit. But some people are saying that this is a painful offense to watch when they have to throw it. Ahmed Plummer, man-to-man. You can use your hands in this game. Timing off. The pass wasn't there anyway, but it can be tough on Wisconsin when they have to throw it.
That maybe wasn't supposed to be an out and up. I think Ahmed just helped him with the out part of it. There's what he's done so far this year. A couple interceptions. Ron Dayne's back in. Second down and 10 with Coombs, the fullback, in front of him. Here's some more option. Left side this time. Bollinger. Niall Diggs is waiting for him. Only about a yard and a half, and Niall Diggs making some big plays defensively.
Well, linebackers are responsible for the option. 32, Diggs can do it, and he gets some help from Ott also. Guard not able to get to him. Guard got to somebody, but it was late.
Niall Diggs, a big playmaker and all Big Ten first-team performer last year.
One of the tough things in running option is when you're trying to outrun a linebacker who weighs 30 more pounds than you, and he's faster.
Third down and 8. Bollinger on the roll, trying to throw at the last minute, and he can't. Jason Ott makes that play. Holds on to the Wisconsin quarterback and brings him down at the 25. So Wisconsin's going to try to get something on the board here, and that means Vitaly Pasetsky will enter to try to put 3 on the board. Fourth down and 10 coming up. Pasetsky 5 out of 7 this year. Got a pretty good leg. A 42-yard attempt. Pasetsky got plenty of leg into it and got it to give Wisconsin its first points of the football game. Larry Alvarez looking on. I know he would have wanted 7, but his offense got him 3. 17-3 Ohio State.
Years now. Where'd they go?
Need help with those?
I can do it. 20 years. I don't know.
I mean, you just caught an etch. It happens.
I sit and I wonder sometimes.
Year after year, it's good to have someone you can depend on. Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Yeah, folks, there's some turbulence reported ahead. We're going to climb to 30,000 feet.
fill you up and never let you down.
Uh-oh.
Make it a Bud Light.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to return to your seat.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Bowl Championship Series on ABC.
Let's go! Wisconsin on the board at the 5:13 mark of the second quarter, but they had to settle for a 42-yard field goal to look in on Ohio Stadium. Mid-70s, beautiful sunshine, a few clouds trying to roll in, and may by the end of this game. But right now it's Ohio State that's rolling. 14-point lead in their Big Ten opener over the Badgers. Pasetsky to kick. Clements and Wiley wait on the other end. Michael Wiley line drive. Hit him right in the 5 and out the back of the end zone. So Ohio State will work from the 20. Earlier we asked you our Aflac trivia question. How many players set the NCAA career rushing record and won the Heisman Trophy in the same year? All of Lynn Swan's research brings us this answer, folks. 7. There they are. Starting with Tom Harmon and Frankie Sinkwich through Glenn Davis, Steve Owens, Archie Griffin, two-time winner, of course, Tony Dorsett, and Ricky Williams, who won it a year ago and is about 1,050 yards ahead of Ron Dayne right now, who is having a tough day. From the 20 for the Buckeyes. Belisari, great play fake, zips it down to Reggie Germany again. And just when it looked like Rambo was the only guy he could find in his sights the last couple of weeks, he's realized that number 80 on the other side's not too bad either.
Well, he had another receiver. If he wants to go deep, which you know he wants to go deep, watch Rambo, and they don't go to him, but he gets by Fletcher. He wins this battle. Ooh, that is beautiful. When you've got a step on a man, that's all you need. They'll come back to that.
First down, out to the 40. Mike Eccles knows he's got his hands full, because when there's that kind of speed on the outside for the Buckeyes, and their quarterback has that kind of speed too, but I think he tripped over his own tailback, Jonathan Wells, who was trying to throw in the block out there.
Well, it looked like a busted play, but I'm not sure that it is. It might just be a sprint out where, in fact, I think it was a sprint out, as we see a quick replay in front of us here, that was what the play design was. You don't see that a lot these days in college football.
Well,
Mike Jacobs takes off.
Mike Jacobs, their offensive coordinator, said we're going to see more and more in the evolution of our quarterback, and more plays designed just for him to run. And I was asking the coaches, I asked them if they saw Thursday night with Joe Hamilton and some of the stuff Ralph Friedgen, their offensive coordinator, does with Joe. Just direct snap, take off. And you'll see more and more of that, I think, out of a lot of these teams that have quarterbacks that can really move their feet, like Belisari. Flags all over the place here.
How about that quarterback down in Tallahassee named Warwick? We had him a few weeks ago.
Full start.
He gets a few snaps there occasionally.
5 yards, still second down.
I know Pete Warwick had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter receiving today for Florida State in their game with Duke, and we'll have a Heisman update for you later on. John and Terry will have all the scores and highlights coming up in the halftime report about 4 minutes from now.
Ohio State has made 3 mistakes. Wiley fumbled, Clements fumbled the punt, and they're offsides there. Other than that, they have been almost flawless.
First penalty against Ohio State. Second down and 8, backs them to the 42-yard line. That's Rambo in motion. The give, Jamar Martin, that little quick fullback trap against, worked pretty well today. He gets out to the 47-yard line. It'll bring up a third down there. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Applebee's, you belong at Applebee's. Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. And Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up, never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. You see the old Intangi behind the horseshoe? That aerial shot, courtesy of Goodyear Blimp Spirit, coming in from Akron to be with us today and give us those gorgeous pictures atop Ohio Stadium. Third down and 3, Buckeyes from their own 47. Here's a long give to Wells, who just back in the lineup, carrying for the first time in 3 weeks after hurting his ankle in the kickoff classic against Miami, and he got nothing there, and it's going to bring up a punting situation for Ohio State.
Well, that's a perfect description. He got nothing in terms of blocking, and Chris I've been to problems with Chris. Yes, Gadorzy. I only called it 100 times. Leading tackler, and you saw why.
2 minutes 43 seconds. Stultz to kick. Nick Davis already has 1 touchdown on a punt return this year. They could definitely use a spark from their special teams to try to help the cause. Davis might have a chance here. Oh, is that called fair catch? He'll take it at the 15-yard line. That's where Wisconsin will go to work with 2:36 till the half. Don't forget, next Saturday, some of you will see number 10 Purdue and number 9 Ohio State. Drew Brees continues his Heisman candidacy. The other regional action. These are the 3:30 games. Oklahoma, Texas, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, USC and Arizona, or Oregon, UCLA. Those are all the games coming up. A huge college football weekend next Saturday on ABC Sports. Here on this Saturday, it is Ohio State with a 2-touchdown lead. And now let's see if Wisconsin wants to put the ball in the air to try to get some points before the break. Not this time. Ron Dayne, about 3.
Well, if you're playing in Madison, the fans begin booing on that call, but you've got a rookie quarterback back there on about the 12-yard line.
Yep.
And you know if you give up an interception, give up points, you know, the game is out of control. You'd love to go down and find a way to get 7, because this is sort of like the Michigan game last weekend. Michigan was playing pretty well at first half, but at halftime, Wisconsin's right there.
Yep. They hung around even to the end, but it was Bollinger who got them their last touchdown before the onside kick, and with it came the start today. It's been a tough start for him. Here's play action for the redshirt freshman. Got away from 1 in the backfield, and he might have a first down. Brent Johnson got back there with Fred Puckett to make the tackle, but it's first down, Wisconsin.
I want to ask a question, Dean. I want to take advantage of the fact that you're an option quarterback at Oklahoma. You got a young kid at quarterback, number 5 in Bollinger. Every time he runs the option, he's going to take a little hit. The defensive side, don't you think he's going to take a lot of punishment because the defense wants him to hold the ball on the option so they can punish him, wear him down?
Absolutely. And, you know, that's one of the concerns about running option football is that your quarterback does get hit an inordinate amount of times. And Ohio State has not been a good tackling team, but yet they can be very physical at times. But that is a true concern for the coordinator and the team for not having a quarterback around, but also the quarterback. You get tired of that, Lynn.
Yeah, and you got Scott Kavanaugh, who's out. He's not really available. The guy warming up for him doing pregame warm-up, number 13, Jim Sorge, he's also a freshman. So you've got really nowhere to go.
No, but you've got to run the offense, though, Brad. You've got to do it anyway, because that's one of the reasons Bollinger's in there, is because he can make plays out of the option.
There's Sorge, the guy that maybe would be the backup to Bollinger. You saw Scott Kavanaugh. Scott Kavanaugh hurt his elbow initially against Cincinnati, re-injured it last week. There was already a plan to go to Bollinger in that football game against Michigan, so that was not the reason he came in. He did help to light things up for the Wisconsin offense a little bit. With it, earned him the start, and the announcement came just virtually minutes. Officially, the announcement came virtually minutes before the start of this football game. First down, Wisconsin, and Bollinger rolling with a blocker in front. He's going to keep it and run out of bounds, and he lost about a yard. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Valvoline Halftime 99. I mentioned John and Terry would be along. All the scores and highlights from today's action as we are in our first week of October football. Perfect October day here in Columbus, Ohio this afternoon. 1:46 remaining till intermission. 17-3 Ohio State. Here comes a 3-wide receiver offense with Chambers down there to the bottom of your screen. Davis and Merritt to the right side on 2nd down and 10. Blitz coming on Bollinger. Goes complete, but it's to his tight end for a very short gain of about 4. And it was Retzlaff in front of Donnie Nicky, the strong safety. Still brings up a 3rd down situation and still probably another passing situation.
I like some of the things I see from Bollinger, though. He's directing this team, getting them to the line of scrimmage, got that pass out there quickly.
He worked well in the 2-minute drill last week. He comes up firing here. Nick Davis, first down, Wisconsin out to the 42. And that stops the clock with 1:19. Pickup of 11. That's Davis' first catch of the day. Last week, We talked about Brooks Bollinger, the son of a coach. Here he was in the 2-minute drill against Michigan. Got his team back in the hunt. That strike to Ahmad Merritt. And then he used his wheels pretty well to take off, get him down in position. He was groggy after that, hit his offensive line, said he came back to the huddle, wasn't even sure where he was. Well, he knew where the end zone was. That scramble for a touchdown got him back to within 5, but the onside kick failed, and they lost to the Wolverines. Bollinger on the roll. Everybody chasing him. And incomplete. John Cooper says, hey, where was the receiver? It was intended for Merritt. It was about 5 yards short of him. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Good play. Diggs having a big afternoon. We asked John Cooper yesterday who he thought at the end of this day would have the most tackles. He says 32. And I think he's right, although Ott has been in on a lot of things as well. That's a smart play, though, by the rookie quarterback. You got to throw that away. There's nothing there. Stop the clock. Just go back. And they have failed on first downs. Nowhere close to 4 yards that has been what their goal is.
Their first couple of series, they were doing all right in that respect, and then you're right. It's gone south on them. Right now, they're 10 yards south of a first down. Chambers in motion at the 42. Here comes a blitz. Bollinger wide open is Merritt. Nobody out there on him, and Merritt tiptoes out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Ahmed Plummer was probably 12 yards off the receiver on that side, and the clock stopped, and they move the sticks again. First down, Wisconsin in Ohio State territory.
You know, I think Plummer is too far off here. I know that there's only a minute to go in the half, but this has to be a busted coverage because there's no way you give a guy 20 yards coverage. 20 yards spacing. Well, Leonard would like to have someone off in 20 yards. He'd still be playing.
Merritt, Chambers, Davis. 3 wideouts, Wisconsin, first down. And it's Bollinger, I think, who wants to run with it on a quarterback draw. Here he goes, got a nice block from Davis, and then he got tattooed at about the 33-yard line. A big-time hit from James Cotton, but he got 8 more yards, and Wisconsin not that far away now from getting at least in field goal range. They got 57 seconds remaining. They've got 2 timeouts remaining.
All right, gotta love the feet on this guy. Not that guy, not John Cooper, but this guy, number 5. What's the number of people that he makes miss? This is one of the things that makes him special. 1, and that was Clements with good feet. 2, the lineman. 3, 4 he can't get away from, but 3 clear misses he got.
This drive started for Wisconsin way back at its own 15. Bollinger, right in the hands of Chris Chambers. And speaking of in the hands of Chris Chambers, Dean alluded to it earlier. He was wide open in the end zone last week against Michigan. He said for a moment he lost it in the sun. This could have been a game turner, and he was all alone and dropped it. And Swanee, you had a great point yesterday. I loved what you said about receivers that say they lost the ball in the sun.
And what you have to do, if it goes in the sun, you just catch the sun.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's where the ball is at. But he knew that, and he told his coach afterwards, the sun was there, but it's still my fault. I dropped it.
Here's the option. Bollinger keeps it. Got an open field inside the 25, down to the 21. 48 seconds. And a timeout call, and you can bet that's why Barry Alvarez has said he's my starting quarterback. He gives them a chance and gives them more diversification in their offense than they would have with Scott Kavanaugh. Here's his first down run.
Absolutely. He's down the line on option out of the shotgun. And you know why they give him so much room is they know he can throw the ball. He also has the advantage of playing under a minute. The defense is playing a little bit softer than normal. But most quarterbacks can't take advantage of teams playing soft when they run it. They can take advantage maybe throwing the football, but he can do it with his legs as well as his arm. Badger fans have a reason to be excited. I know their offense has frustrated them, but there is hope.
He's talking to his quarterback coach right there in his first year, Jeff Horton. And Jeff, a former head coach at Nevada and UNLV, and that's all they did was throw. So it's been culture shock, I know, for Jay, coming from a program that maybe threw 55, 60 passes to Wisconsin, where maybe 15's enough if Ron Dayne's going. But they're instituting a little bit more option with Bollinger out there. It's been kind of a struggle for Ron Dayne today, but still they find themselves 2 touchdowns back, but in scoring range at the 21-yard line.
You know, you put Ron Dayne's numbers together from today and the second half of last week's game. Woo,
yeah,
tough.
Yeah, that's right.
36 yards and almost a game. Let's see if he can get some more yardage here.
Serious slowing, sledding. He's in there right now. First down at the 21. Diggs is thinking about a blitz. They come with a blitz from the corner, and it pays off. It was the linebacker, Bullard, who came flying around there.
You know, it's one thing for Ron Dayne not to have running space when he can't make yards, but it's another when he's got to pass protect. Let's watch Ron Dayne pass protect right here. Let's roll the tape, and you watch it at home, and you tell me if this is good effort and a good job. Not a good effort, not a good job. I'll help you with that one.
Not only that, but he was limping a little bit after throwing that block on Jason Ott. Too many linebackers come flying around there and not enough help. And Dayne, you can see some pain right now on the sideline. And he's had some problems this year with an ankle.
Well,
he's had problems against very good teams as well.
Pardon me, Brad, but to be fair to him, if there is an injury, hey, I understand it. But if it's not an injury situation, that's just a losing play right there.
Well, right now, Wisconsin is in a passing situation. Their quarterback, the redshirt freshman, has hit 50% of his tosses, 8 out of 16 for Bollinger. And he's got 40 seconds left to work. And Wisconsin out of timeouts. 12th play of the drive coming up. Eddie Faulkner is in there. You would expect to see him in there in a passing situation anyway. 3 wide outs for Bollinger. 2nd down and 14. Blitz again. Throw. Davis made the catch, trying to turn in a hurry on Percy King. And now Wisconsin's going to have to hustle, rather. They don't want to huddle. Bollinger trying to get him up there in a hurry. We're down under 30 seconds. It's 3rd down. Let's see if he takes a shot at the end zone. Going to throw the deep out. Got his man. 1st and goal, Wisconsin. Down at the 7-yard line. So they've got a couple cracks left at the end zone before they have to think about field goal. What they can't afford to do is get tackled in the field of play right now.
Hey, this is a great drive by all of the Badgers, particularly the young quarterback. I mean, he got it going early. That was a great throw and catch there, but it was a little bit more cushion than I would have expected from the outstanding cornerback Clements.
Well, he's doing exactly what he did against Michigan in the 4th quarter last week. 5 out of 7, 51 yards. He'd like to make that 6 out of 8 for about 69 yards and a touchdown. He'd take that. He goes to the end zone. Broken up right at the goal line. Chambers had a hand on it, but Nate Clements hit him from behind, and the ball hit the ground, as you see the back judge indicate.
Clements manned up here, and he does a good job here, although Chambers is a much bigger player, and so he can position his body. Did you see the hands come in from Nate Clements?
Yep.
Knocked that one away. Critical call here, because with 13 seconds to go, a sack, a run, a pass that's complete inbounds keeps the clock going. They may not have a chance to score.
3 wide outs. Merritt, Davis, Chambers. 2nd and goal, Wisconsin at the Ohio State 7. Here's the fade for Chambers in the corner. Too deep. Plummer there with him. They've got one more crack at it before the field goal unit. They'll have to go to the end zone. With 9 seconds left, they can still get another play off.
Well, that was a perfect throw for the 240-pound tuba man.
Oh, that guy almost got the eye dotted by that spiral on this pass play.
Good defense. You know, that's just not a good throw. You got to throw that ball quicker.
Actually,
there's not enough space.
Actually, that was a French horn section. 3rd and goal. Wisconsin, the 16th play of this drive. They're looking for a touchdown. They're going to try the same play again. And no penalty marker. Plummer stayed right there with Chambers. And now they're going to have to be forced to try the field goal.
Well, now that's a questionable call. We'll have to take a look at that again. The quarterback doing a better job there, though. Bollinger learned from his mistake on the previous throw. He got it out there more quickly. Here we see Ahmed Plummer. Ball's in the air. Looked like a trip to me. I would have thrown a flag on that one.
No flag, and that brings on Vasetsky, who has 1 field goal today in what appears to be the final play of the half. Rosget a hole. It's a 25-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. Vasetsky up and added on to the point total for Wisconsin, another 3. They were definitely looking for the touchdown. Ohio State wouldn't give it to them, but they stay in the hunt, down 11 at intermission. It's Ohio State 17, Wisconsin 6.
Here you go, boys.
Good one. Yeah. Give me the car.
Call. A couple of things to remember. One, a full house always beats 3 of a kind. And 2, Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. That's more powerful than Ford, more powerful than Dodge. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back ribs. I want my baby back, baby back ribs. I got my baby back ribs.
Hello, Stuart. So you're Abigail's special friend from the office.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Stuart, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I wouldn't mind living here.
No, what's your passion, Stuart?
I like to trade online. You ever heard of Ameritrade?
I'm a stockbroker, son.
Dad, he only pays $8 a trade.
Give a kid a computer and he thinks he can beat the market.
I don't want to beat the market. I want to grab it, sock it in the gut a couple times, turn it upside down, hold it by the pants, shake them out to all those pockets, empty out all that spare change. Let's see.
Ameritrade. Call now.
Afraid your next get-together will be a flop? Order Chili's Party Platters. Act now. Call a Chili's representative, and your guests will flip over party-sized servings of buffalo wings, fajitas, baby back ribs, and more. End pre-party stress now. Order Chili's Party Platters new from Chili's.
Valvoline Halftime 99. Brought to you by Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline.
This is Valvoline Halftime 99. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. Your second half still to come. But first, some great news in the Big Ten. They had a handful of teams unbeaten, including Purdue, looking to win their 11th in a row. But facing Michigan, Tom Brady had a terrific game. 17 yards here to Marcus Knight. It was 14-3. Drew Brees, we watched him do this last week. He tosses the ball on the money every time.
I think he's got quick feet. He had another great game, but this team may not be strong enough to keep him in the Heisman hunt.
And Vinny Sutherland on that touchdown. Anthony Thomas. Look at the workhorse here. Drags about 4 Boilermakers towards the end zone. Drew Brees here trying to pull his team closer. Tosses it across the middle, and Larry Foote steps in front of it. The interception as Michigan remains unbeaten and knocks the Boilermakers down. They cannot win their 11th in a row, 38-12. Brady, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drew Brees, the numbers aren't that bad, but that really doesn't tell the entire story. 293 yards there. What Michigan has done, their defense, to the Heisman hopefuls over the last couple of weeks. Ron Dayne had 0 yards in the second half against Michigan last week. Drew Brees was sacked twice today. He had been sacked once the rest of the entire season. Now, you talk about the great defense of Michigan, but their offense today is what really made the difference.
You're right, John. If there's one thing that people in Ann Arbor, Michigan have been disappointed about, it's the productivity of Michigan's offense. They have not been able to score touchdowns in the red zone. Take a look at this here. They're inside the 20-yard line here in the red zone. And now you'll see Tom Brady make a great fake right to the tailback and bootleg out, throwing a beautiful touchdown pass to Marcus Knight for a touchdown. Did a great job. They had 2 touchdown passes in the red zone and 3 touchdown runs. Watch this here. He gets open. The defense has been fooled by the fake, and there's the touchdown. And you see the statistic. Look at this. All field goals in the first 4 games, but today, 6 of 6 in the red zone with touchdowns.
Yeah, they really showed the dimensions today they had not throughout the rest of this early season. Duke against Florida State. Would it be a tough game for Florida State? Well, they scored 62 against Duke last year. Peter Warwick trying to polish up the numbers here. Chris Wenke, little toss here to Warwick, 3 yards out. Florida State's up 7-0. And Wenke calls his number once again, this time 39 yards to Peter Warwick. He takes off. Great move right there to the end zone. It was a 14-0 Florida State lead. And they'll let Peter Warwick throw the ball as well.
Well, you know, he had no interception today. Oh, Peter Warwick, look at that throw. Outstanding. You know, he doesn't need to have a bunch of big plays, but 2 or 3 spectacular ones. It keeps him right there at the top of the list for that Heisman.
Lavernius Coles with the touchdown toss there. And Peter Warwick, again, 12 touches, 107 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he also passed for a touchdown as well. When you look at this Florida State team and the numbers of Chris Wenke, Is there any Achilles heel to this team?
I tell you, the only thing I see is Chris Winkie throwing the ball up for grabs too much. They get ahead of everybody, and he throws the ball up. When you play Miami, when you play Florida, these athletes are going to intercept that football.
All right, Nebraska back in action against Oklahoma State. Nebraska really got the running game going last week. They keep it going here. Quarterback Eric Crouch from 3 yards out, 7-0 at that point. Then Eric Crouch goes to the air, 14 yards to Tracy Wistrom. And that's really the key for Nebraska now, mixing it up a little bit.
I tell you, Nebraska's got their offense going, but I like the Nebraska defense. They're in the top 6 in every defensive category in America. Ralph Brown, their All-American cornerback, had 9 tackles today.
Oklahoma State hasn't beaten Nebraska since 1961. You see the numbers for Crouch. LSU against Georgia, and for Georgia, their assistant coach, Pat Watson, died of a heart attack after the game last week, so they wear the letters PW on their helmets in honor of him. Josh Booty here, 40 yards to Reggie Robinson. This gets it down to a 1-point game, but then Jerry DiNardo decides he wants to go for the win and goes for 2.
I guess he didn't feel his team was strong enough or as strong as Georgia, because if you're an even team, you go for it. I'd have probably gone ahead and gone into overtime and given my kids a little better chance to win.
Yeah, one last chance. It's tough to score from down there going for the 2-point conversion. Georgia, for the 2nd consecutive week, they win by a point. Central Florida last week, 23-22 the final there. Iowa and Michigan State. Here's a look at a quarterback comparison of Georgia and LSU. Josh Booty getting his first start today. He struggled at 18 of 45. Quincy Carter just enough to get it down. Now we move to Iowa and Michigan State. Nick Saban looking to go to 5-0. And Bill Burke, 32-yard pass to Plaxico Burress, who had 6 receptions for 95 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michigan State now 5-0 for the first time since '97, the second time since 1996, but Big Ten schedule is always tough.
Nick Saban preached to them all week. Don't think ahead to Michigan. Well, now they can start thinking about Michigan next week.
Yeah, next week on ABC, some of you will see that. East Carolina against Army. East Carolina has been charmed this year. Steve Logan talking to his quarterback, David Garrard. And he gets it done again. 62 yards to Arnie Powell, opening up a 16-0 lead. East Carolina, when you look at their schedule, this is a team that could roll through their entire season and not have a chance to compete in the Bowl Championship Series. 33-14 is the final. So I ask you the question, looking at their schedule, could they run the table?
If they can beat Southern Miss next week, they can run it, but they're nothing more than Tulane. They're not going to make it to the BCS.
All right, Tulane from this year, it could be East Carolina. Stick around, back with more in a moment.
I vow to make you invincible, to make your engines sing, to use the strong, tough synthetic oil, the one that has a super breed of molecules to protect you from cold, heat, dirt, time, the one that'll help keep you from growing old. I will never let you die.
Valvoline SynPower, advanced synthetic technology.
You know, I wonder if you can fix that truck again.
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
This is Valvoline Halftime 99. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. The Ohio State Buckeyes in command against Wisconsin. And for Ron Dayne, a couple of weeks ago, they fumbles against Cincinnati. They lose that game. Last week against Michigan, no yards in the second half, and he's struggling in the first half again.
You know, John, I've looked at statistics of this team this year. They're not a lot different than last year, except the last 2 games they have penalties and they've got turnovers, and you can't have a running offense. And Ron Dayne's fumbled twice, and that hurts him himself.
Yeah, the team is struggling indeed, about to lose its 3rd in a row. Let's get to the scores and highlights now. Kansas State against Texas in the Big 12. This one an interesting matchup, and you could tell that the Longhorns ready to dance, ready to play, ready to do something. Major Applewhite, 38 yards to Kwame Cavill. Applewhite each game, and going back to last year, has gotten stronger every game.
He sure has. His first start in college football was against Kansas State, and he got taken behind the house, but he throws another touchdown pass here, has a great day. Kansas State, on the other hand, they need last year's Michael Bishop.
Yeah, Michael Bishop, too bad he didn't have any eligibility left, down 14-9 right now. Elsewhere, Oklahoma against Notre Dame. Josh Heupel with a couple of touchdown passes breaks the school record for touchdown passes in a season. Oklahoma, a passing team, people are rolling over in their graves somewhere.
How about this Bob Stoops, though? You got to think about Bob Stoops. He's put up a passing team at a running school. That's hard to do. People don't accept passing when you're a running team. At Auburn, they want you to run the football. At Clemson, they want you to run the football. Incredible job. Brings in Mike Leach from Kentucky, and they can throw that football.
You know what they do like, though, are W's. They don't
That's
care
right.
how you get them. In the SEC, Alabama down at the Swamp in Florida. And look at this, Alabama with a 13-7 lead. Sean Alexander, 15 touches for 82 yards. You don't go in there and do that very often.
I'll tell you, Sean, and they have a great rush defense. They're giving up 60 yards a game at Florida on the ground, and Sean Alexander doing a good job.
You want to talk about a team that likes to put it up in the air? How about Kentucky facing Arkansas today? Hal Mummy says the aerial assault started when he got there with Tim Couch. This year it's Dusty Bonner. 48 yards here, a strike to Quentin McCord. Kentucky grabs a 7-0 lead as he stumbles his way into the end zone. Then Bonner again, 24 yards to Dougie Allen. Kentucky opening up a 14-0 lead, and Kentucky wins this one, going away 31-20.
Well, Arkansas beat them in the last minutes last year, and now it's top man, bottom man. Clint Stoner out, and Dusty Bonner in.
4 touchdown passes for Dusty Bonner today. Mississippi State against Vanderbilt. Wayne Madkins with 2 touchdown passes. Vanderbilt back to reality. They're knocked off 42-14 is the final. Marshall against Miami of Ohio. This is supposed to be their toughest game of the year for Chad Pennington and crew. It did not turn out that way. Pennington, 6 yards to Nate Poole. Marshall grabbed a 9-0 lead. Travis Prentice, a lot of people talked about him as a possible Heisman candidate, gets hauled down here behind the line of scrimmage. And then Chad Pennington again, this time 42 yards to James Williams. And Marshall, another school that could run the table and be left out.
Yeah, but this was for a conference championship, and hopefully those 2 good players will have a chance to be on a roster in the NFL, but no Heisman hopes, I don't believe, when you're playing at Marshall or Miami.
Marshall right now with the nation's longest winning streak, of course, because Purdue lost. Tulane and Syracuse. Patrick Ramsey drops back, plants, tosses it across the middle. Short gain? No. Busted. 80 yards to Herwin Cook for the touchdown. Syracuse's lead is down to 3. And then Madai Williams, though, 22 yards to Pat Woodcock as Syracuse gets the offense going. Tosses that one, looked off his back foot. 31-17 at that point, and they win easily, 47-17. A 45-game winning streak on the line. And this one is in overtime right now. Mount Union with that streak. It's tied 44 apiece. We'll keep you up to date on that one. Milwaukee knocks off Cincinnati. Cincinnati now a half game behind Houston in the lead for the division. Los Angeles and Houston, well, that one's just getting underway. In the third right now, they can win the division with wins in their next couple of games. And the wild card, the Mets need to win their last 2 games and hope Cincinnati or Houston loses, and they would be in. It's complicated, so stay with us here. Chicago Cubs and St. Louis facing off against each other. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. McGuire here blasted a solo home run. 64th of the year. 70 last year, 64 this year. And the fans go chasing after a ball that someday will be worth about $100,000. Sammy Sosa can only look on, and he could end up number 2 again this season, but another great race. Stick around. Back with more as we continue on Valvoline Halftime 99.
Hey, boys, I'm lost. I'm looking for Franklin Street exit. I'm going around for an hour. Come on.
Want more power? Try Valvoline SimPower Complete Fuel System Treatment. Cleans your entire fuel system with advanced synthetic technology.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be 2 kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet, and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. So we called Dell. Dell came to see us and showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell support, there's no limit to where we can go. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Valvoline Halftime 99. Brought to you by Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline.
There are 2 teams going out on the field today, and only one will come back a winner. We're at the 17th hole. Here's the putt. Go out there and do your best. Yes! And it's a Cinderella story.
Sports can teach her how to dream.
I love you guys.
You can help her dream big.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah! They're killing me.
Every Sunday night, 2 David Kelly shows, back to back. First, Snoops. The press raves, it's a hoot. I love it.
Oh, thanks.
Then the practice.
Move in with me.
It's the Emmy winner for Best Drama 2 years in a row. Catch an all-new Snoops, followed by an all-new practice. ABC Sunday starting at 9/8 Central.
Next Saturday on ABC, we begin at noon Eastern. Miami against Florida State or Michigan and Michigan State. Then at 3:30 Eastern Time, regional coverage. Purdue against Ohio State in the Big Ten. Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12. North Carolina against Georgia Tech in the ACC, or one of 2 Pac-10 games. And then for our West Coast viewers only, at 4 p.m. Pacific, you'll see Cal against BYU. Find out which game you'll see in your area with our coverage map on Bowl Championship Series online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Central Michigan fullback Jason Meyer is this week's winner of the Burger King Scholar Athlete Award. Once again, Burger King Corporation will donate $1 million to the general scholarship funds of colleges and universities. At the end of the season, you'll get a Scholar Athlete of the Year will be awarded $100,000 in his name. 4-year career, Jason has averaged 4.3 yards per carry. He maintains a 3.91 GPA and hopes to teach after college and is proud of this honor.
I think a lot of student athletes are more known for their athletics, and there's a lot of kids out there who work hard both ways, and they don't get known as much for what they're doing in the classroom.
Jason Meyer is this week's Burger King Scholar Athlete. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Today's Water Boy symbol is a bucket. Check your local retailer for more details on how you can be an honorary Water Boy at this year's BCS National Championship game right here on ABC Sports.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
Now, the Water Boy is yours to own for the first time.
You can do it!
Plus, you can enter to win a trip to the Nokia Sugar Bowl in New Orleans to see the BCS National Championship game as an honorary Water Boy.
Oh!
I think that's sexy.
Grab your copy of The Water Boy. Take it home on video and DVD and enter today.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo.
Green.
The side you show the world is up to you.
100 feelings.
You had a stroke. Admit that it's harder now.
1,000 emotions.
I'm gonna kiss you right now.
What you been waiting on, McCall? TV Guide says the stories and characters are as good as they come.
I didn't behave like a man.
You're apologizing like one. The season premiere of the Emmy-winning Sports Night, Tuesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC.
Hey, check this out. It could be your next new car.
Introducing the all-new Ford Focus.
Focus looks great. As if you need fashion advice.
A design for the new millennium.
Remember all that luggage on your last vacation? Not a problem here.
Focus has the most interior room in its class.
They've thought of everything.
Height adjustable seats and tilt telescopic steering puts you in complete control. Ford Focus, just $219 a month.
Take my advice. This car is you.
Only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Don't just stir my emotions, steal my heart. There's a cruise line that can do that. Celebrity.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
I'm calling long distance with one of those 1010 numbers. Makes you crazy.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's not.
It'll make you nuts. But with the new AT&T one-rate 7-cent plan, calls are just 7 cents a minute.
Yeah, but you can only call at certain times, right?
7 cents a minute all day, every day.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week? That's simple.
Yes, it is.
So I don't have to use those 1010 numbers ever again?
No, you don't.
All day, every day. Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Excuse me, but what are you doing?
6 ABC, the most watched station in the Delaware Valley.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
17-6, Ohio State at home. Their Big Ten opener. They're leading Wisconsin. Wisconsin got the late field goal, Dino, and something they desperately needed to get points on the board. Their best drive of the game, but it wasn't a touchdown. And right now the field position battle, Ohio State's just controlling that.
Well, Ohio State's doing a good job of mixing things up, and it doesn't make it any easier when they play on Wisconsin's half the field. You know, they've had 31 snaps, and 19 of them have been from Wisconsin's 50-yard line in. So they need to change that in the second half.
Ohio State hasn't made many mistakes today. They did have a fumble in the end zone by Michael Wiley, prevented a touchdown, but he came back in the next drive and had first an option pass to Wisniewski that got him close, and then he did the honors from a yard out. That was their first score. Reggie Germany a long touchdown of 40 yards, and Ron Dayne's been held in check for Wisconsin. That's been the story of this game, and now Ohio State will have the ball first to start the third quarter, as Pisetsky's kick will take Wiley a yard deep. Michael will bring it out to the 15, fumble, and I think the Badgers have it. Yes, they do. Wiley's second fumble of the day got popped inside the 15, and the ball squirted out of there like a bar of soap. Bobby Myers is the guy that covered it.
Well, when you're being outplayed, the best way to turn it around is to get turnovers and points in the kicking game. And I don't know if it's a matter of Ohio State coming out, as you see Wiley here, and not being screwed down mentally, or if it was just a great defensive play. We couldn't see really, but it was a big turnover and one that could cost him.
Jason Schick is the man that caused the fumble. Recovered at the 14. Bollinger, wide open field inside the 10, down to the 4. Boy, that hole opened up for him on the right side. Percy King finally knocked him off his pins, but Wisconsin with a golden opportunity to get right back in this football game.
Well, this is the play that when you're a quarterback, you come around, you're expecting someone in your face, and you see Niall Diggs running out. Niall Diggs has to do that. He's on the pitch man, who is Dayne, but that is a dream right there as the defense busted.
Wisconsin down 11, looking for their first touchdown of the day. Ron Dayne has been limping in the first half, did not have a good first half. He's in there behind Coons. Here he comes, Dayne to the end zone, touchdown.
Any good start for Wisconsin?
Wow, I guess so. They couldn't have asked for a better scenario. Fumble kickoff by Michael Wiley. Second time he's put it on the turf today. And Ron Dayne's first carry of the third quarter is a touchdown.
Watch the block. He gets up front from 41, Coons. That's outstanding. Johnny Nicky just laid out.
Dayne for the touchdown. His 7th of the year. Pisetsky is not in there. Bollinger is. They're going to go for 2.
Yeah, down 5 makes all the sense in the world. Go for 2. Got the ball on the left hash. Generally, teams will use the wide side of the field.
Wisconsin in the old days used to love the tight ends in this situation. But they've got 3 wideouts there right now. Davis in motion on a 2-point conversion. Bollinger in and out of the hands of the intended receiver right at the goal line. It was Ahmad Merritt, Cortland Bullard, and Percy King there to break it up. So the 2 fails, but Wisconsin will definitely take what they got, which was a gift in field position. A touchdown by Dayne, but the 2-point conversion comes up short. They lead by 5. They trail, rather, by 5.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine. at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate, be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
17-6, Ohio State at home. Their Big Ten opener. They're leading Wisconsin. Wisconsin got the late field goal, Dino, and something they desperately needed to get points on the board. Their best drive of the game, but it wasn't a touchdown. And right now the field position battle, Ohio State's just controlling that.
Well, Ohio State's doing a good job of mixing things up, and it doesn't make it any easier when they play on Wisconsin's half the field. You know, they've had 31 snaps, and 19 of them have been from Wisconsin's 50-yard line in. So they need to change that in the second half.
Ohio State hasn't made many mistakes today. They did have a fumble in the end zone by Michael Wiley, prevented a touchdown, but he came back in the next drive and had first an option pass to Wisniewski that got him close, and then he did the honors from a yard out. That was their first score. Reggie Germany a long touchdown of 40 yards, and Ron Dayne's been held in check for Wisconsin. That's been the story of this game, and now Ohio State will have the ball first to start the third quarter, as Pisetsky's kick will take Wiley a yard deep. Michael will bring it out to the 15, fumble, and I think the Badgers have it. Yes, they do. Wiley's second fumble of the day got popped inside the 15, and the ball squirted out of there like a bar of soap. Bobby Myers is the guy that covered it.
Well, when you're being outplayed, the best way to turn it around is to get turnovers and points in the kicking game. And I don't know if it's a matter of Ohio State coming out, as you see Wiley here, and not being screwed down mentally, or if it was just a great defensive play. We couldn't see really, but it was a big turnover and one that could cost him.
Jason Schick is the man that caused the fumble. Recovered at the 14. Bollinger, wide open field inside the 10, down to the 4. Boy, that hole opened up for him on the right side. Percy King finally knocked him off his pins, but Wisconsin with a golden opportunity to get right back in this football game.
Well, this is the play that when you're a quarterback, you come around, you're expecting someone in your face, and you see Niall Diggs running out. Niall Diggs has to do that. He's on the pitch man, who is Dayne, but that is a dream right there as the defense busted.
Wisconsin down 11, looking for their first touchdown of the day. Ron Dayne has been limping in the first half, did not have a good first half. He's in there behind Coons. Here he comes. Dayne to the end zone. Touchdown.
Hey, good start for Wisconsin.
Wow, I guess so. They couldn't have asked for a better scenario. Fumble kickoff by Michael Wiley. Second time he's put it on the turf today. And Ron Dayne's first carry of the third quarter is a touchdown.
Watch the block he gets up front from 41, Coons. That's outstanding. Donnie Nicky just laid out.
Dayne for the touchdown. His 7th of the year. Pisetsky is not in there. Bollinger is. They're going to go for 2.
Yeah, down 5 makes all the sense in the world. Go for 2. Got the ball on the left hash. Generally, teams will use the wide side of the field.
Wisconsin in the old days used to love the tight ends in this situation. But they've got 3 wideouts there right now. Davis in motion on a 2-point conversion. Bollinger in and out of the hands of the intended receiver right at the goal line. It was Ahmad Merritt, Cortland Bullard, and Percy King there to break it up. So the 2 fails, but Wisconsin will definitely take what they got, which was a gift in field position. A touchdown by Dayne, but the 2-point conversion comes up short. They lead by 5. They trail, rather, by 5.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous, you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. Be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
Where will you be when the millennium turns? Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dayne Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dayne Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
There's something new from 2020. The news magazine you've loved for over 20 years. Thursdays, 2020 walks a new beat downtown.
There's the battering ram combination that got Wisconsin in the end zone. Coons the lead blocker for Dayne to cap the 14-yard drive. 12 unanswered Wisconsin points now, dating back to the second quarter. Pasetsky, a line drive. Rambo's back there this time for the kick return, and he'll take it at the 1. Kenyon. And he's hit inside the 15. Great job down there on the special teams to make the stop. Roger Knight, our Morgan Stanley Dayne Witter first half statistics. And there's how they look. Total yardage, Ohio State 238. You see the field position Dayne was talking about, definitely in Ohio State's favor. And that first down situation for Wisconsin that you wanted to point out early in the ballgame. And that 2.2 ain't going to do it.
No, it doesn't do it. Doesn't come close to 4. I want to know what happened in the locker room. Did this guy get his cane out or his crutches?
I don't know.
Whip him around. Jeez, what a start for these guys.
Working that right knee. Again, Barry Alvarez up in the coach's box. If you're just joining us, coaching for the 3rd week from the press box with that knee replacement impending this week. Jonathan Wells dropped for a loss. Lisowski, the outside linebacker. I don't know if it's Wells' high ankle sprain suffered in that Miami game, but the 2 times he's handled it, he has lost yardage. Doesn't seem to have that quick first step.
Well, I think he is slowed a little bit. He told us the other day, but look at the play here by Lisowski, 45. That's why Jonathan Wells is coming down. Ohio State got to play with emotion. This game wasn't over at halftime.
Belisari, nice play fake to throw from his own end zone. Almost had him trapped in that end zone. And a nice play by Sam Miller, who had the fumble recovery early in the first quarter. He brings down Belisari on the sack.
You know what, though? That's a good play by Belisari in the sense that he could feel the pressure. He knew where the end zone was, and he was able to get out of the grasp of the defender. Let's take a look at it. If you're the quarterback and Belisari right now, you want the play. You got to hold on. You got to hold on. You feel the pressure right there. You've got to get out of the end zone. If you don't, you get a safety. The other team gets the ball and gets right back in the middle. Listen, in fact, takes the lead.
Ohio State's got 3rd and a mile. 3rd and 18 from the gun. They show blitz. They bring blitz. Belisari rolling. Miller chasing on the run. Germany. And that is incomplete. So Wisconsin first gets a fumble recovery and then forces a 3-and-out for Ohio State. They could not have scripted the beginning of this 3rd quarter any better.
I've always felt that the coaching staff is paid for the first quarter and the 3rd quarter because those are when the adjustments are made. Right. You know, you work all week, you game plan, and you execute that in the first quarter. And then they play the second, and then at halftime you go back and regroup.
So they do the 2nd and 4th for free is what you're saying.
Well, they're expensive quarters.
They are. Stultz to punt. Hasn't had one blocked this year. He's in a tough spot right there as we look behind him, and he's got Nick Davis, a tough return man on the other end. Beautiful kick. Davis will have a chance from the 40. Here he goes. Davis across midfield, spins inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, a 16-yard punt return off a 56-yard kick. Ron Dayne is waiting for some more action. His team can get back in the lead if they can score the next time they have it.
If you're looking for a family adventure, National Car Rental knows the best place to go is The Walt Disney World Resort. You see, National gets you to all the exciting new rides and attractions fast. For a magical adventure your family will never forget. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go with National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Walt Disney World Resort. Let's go.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo.
Green? The side you show the world is up to you.
If you can fix that cup again.
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Wisconsin's got the beat going right now. They'll start at the Ohio State 44-yard line. They haven't done much on first down with Ron Dayne carrying the football today. He's out there right now, though, following a 4-yard touchdown run the last time he touched it.
They're going to come back to option this series.
Here's Dayne on first down. Not much again, only about 2. Dayne with 41 yards on the day, and is 44 yards shy of Herschel Walker, the next man on the list. And, of course, the top guy, the king of the hill, if you will, is Ricky Williams. 62-79 was what he finished his Texas career with. Tony Dorsett was next. You go down the list, Charles White, 55-98. And there's Herschel in 3 years, 52-59. He's the next guy in Ron Dayne's sights. Here is the option. Doesn't get him much, though, except their quarterback knocked around a little bit. Cortland Bullard and Ryan Pickett are there, and it's going to be a 3rd and long situation. On 3rd and long, he's loved to throwing to Chambers. Problem is, Chambers isn't catching them all.
Well, that's right. They've thrown 11 to him. He's caught 3. Bollinger that time did misplay the option. Ohio State, as we talked earlier, wants actually Ron Dayne to get the ball on the option. So they are forcing Bollinger to pitch. That time he cut it up, made a bad play.
3rd down and 7. Important 3rd down for the Ohio State defense. They show blitz. They back out of it. Bollinger. Chambers has this one. And he's got a first down inside the 30.
Pass is complete to 88.
So that one he held on to. 12th time they've gone at number 88 in front of Nate Clements that time.
Well, here's the deal with 88. I mean, it's real clear. Just throwing a ball that's really hard to catch, and he'll come down with it. Although this is a well-thrown ball, what's difficult here is that the hit he gets is pretty vicious.
David Mitchell put that hat on him right on the thigh.
First down.
And Mitchell's the guy that's dinged up after that hit.
That's when you feel like a stud. When you're a big receiver, 210 like Chambers, and
take the collision. Take the safety out, huh?
Yeah.
And they're helping him to the sideline. Meanwhile, it's a first down at the 28-yard line for Wisconsin. The Badgers have never led in this game. In fact, they were down 17 in this game. They've scored 12 straight points, and they've got an opportunity to get very much back in the football game. 2 tight ends set for the Badgers at the Buckeye 28. Ron Dayne trying to get to the left corner, and rolled out of bounds over there by Nate Clements at about the 25. Ott was also in on the play.
Well, this is the stretch play that they love to run, the bread and butter that hasn't, the bread hasn't been buttered very much. Let's take a look at it as we see they'll stretch it out to the left. Ron Dayne gets it. He has the choice to stretch it out wide. Stop the video right there. He has a chance to bounce it out here. What he'd really like to do is find a crease right through there and go.
Wasn't enough of a crease for him, thanks to the Ohio State defense. 2nd down and 7. Chambers in motion. Play fake. Bollinger wide open to Coons, a fullback. And the big fella blasts his way down to the 10-yard line. Chad Coons, just a sophomore, 230-pounder, and he's an Ohio native, so you know he's loving this.
Wisconsin figured some things out at halftime. Dayne's going to bring some coverage with him. Ott's not back where he should be, 30. He is about 4 yards too shallow for that. And they can take advantage of the hands of the fullback Coons, who has exceptional hands for a bullish runner.
Pickup of 14 on the pass play. Wisconsin can get a first down inside the 1. Bollinger appears to be changing up the play. Gonna have to hurry. Got the play off. Dayne left side. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Nobody touched the big fella. 11 yards, and Wisconsin's in front.
Well, we always see the plays where quarterbacks check into passes, into throws. Well, this is a tremendous check. He sees something that he likes, and it might be Donnie Nicky coming up on the right side. And you talk about a lane. What a start for Wisconsin, but a great checkoff by the quarterback.
4.5 minutes of Wisconsin domination, in fact, courtesy of first a fumble recovery, and then have taken over with good field position, capping a 44-yard march, and they'll go for 2 again with a 1-point lead. They'd like to stretch it out to 3. 2 tight end set, and Ahmad Merritt in motion. They play fake it to Dayne. They come up throwing. Coons, did he get there? No. Great play by Percy King and Ahmed Plummer. He couldn't have been more than a foot short of that goal line. So the 2-point conversion fails for the second time for Wisconsin, but they do have the lead. Ron Dayne's second touchdown from 11 yards out, and the Badgers lead 18-17. You watch Coons make the catch. King and Plummer just said, And you saw he was only about 2 feet short of the goal line.
Well, the natives are getting restless here. And they say, guys, you played great in the first half, but what have you done for me lately? As you see Ron Dayne, who's right back in the middle, his eyes wide open. But they came out in the first half and played fundamentally sound football with motion.
Well, Ron Dayne's ankle's bugging him. It's not bugging him too much right now.
Yeah.
I think the pain went away the first time he found the end zone, and now he's found it twice here in the early stages of this third quarter.
Don't you think that Bollinger's play at the end of the half is what sparked this?
Absolutely. Pasetsky to kick. Rambo and Clements wait on the other end, and Pasetsky got all of this one. Rambo catches it, steps out of the back of the end zone, and from the 20-yard lines where Ohio State will have to work. Our Applebee's game fact, our Heisman update that we promised you when we started this game. Obviously a busy first weekend of October in college football. Joe Hamilton Thursday night was sensational against Maryland. 387 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 on the ground. Pete Warwick, he had 3 touchdowns receiving, and he threw 1 today. Drew Brees had kind of a tough time, but there's his numbers. And Ron Dayne now 667 yards and 8 scores, including the 2 here in the last 3.5 minutes.
Well, I don't know what you're doing with your vote. If I were voting on that one right now, it'd be a quarter for each one of them.
Yeah, that's about right. Belisari in trouble. Down he goes again. He took a smack from Wendell Bryant, who came in leading the Big Ten in sacks with 5.
Well, Ohio State is stymied. Wendell Bryant played great early in this ball game.
He played great last week, too, even though it was a loss to Michigan.
Well, he did, and they really just think 77 is just scratching the surface. Defensive end with size, with speed. He dominated the ball game in a loss. Has all the tools you look for.
They definitely need him because Tom Burke, of course, who graduated, was a sack master for Wisconsin for the past 3 years. Belisari, nobody home, looked like he wanted to at least fake a handoff. Now he heads the other way, and he gets across the 25 to the 26. That's the second time today that at least the appearance from up here is that Belisari was kind of going one way and everybody else was going the other.
Well, you know why it happened that way. See, 77, he caused it. I mean, once again, we talked just a moment ago about Wendell Bryant, 77, pressure on the quarterback. You get a guy coming at you like that, you'd run that way too.
Yeah, you're right. I would run as far as I could away from him.
Forget the designed play, although it was a pass, you're going to run for your life.
Well, here's what Ohio State needs. 3rd down, a long 3. They trail now by a point. There's Wendell Bryant's numbers on the season. He just added to that total Sack-wise a minute ago. Here's some option from Ohio State. Jonathan Wells, first down run. And the first good run he's had since the opener against the Miami Hurricanes.
That's what you get from Jonathan Wells. This was a play that was well executed. It was also well defended. This play is stopped with most backs, but this guy brings a punch. I mean, Wells is 6'1.5", 235, and strong.
Yep, he's got that little gleam in his eye. He couldn't wait, chomping at the bit to get back in the saddle in that backfield. They fake it to him, and Belisari rifles it to Rambo on the run. Inside the 40 and down to the 34-yard line. And number 4 finally gets loose for the first time today. 34 yards downfield into Wisconsin territory.
You know, there are 4 or 5 games, plays in games that turn games. This was a play that should have gone Wisconsin's way. The outstanding safety, number 8, Jason Doring. You're going to see him come into the picture here in a moment. He's tentative right there. He has a chance to intercept that ball. He doesn't go for it. He might still be running, but one thing that wouldn't be happening is Ohio State at the 35-yard line.
With a first down. And Belisari, nice play fake on a bootleg. Going to keep it. And Wisconsin stretches it out, but he broke a tackle. Finally, Donnell Thompson and Dan Lasowski get over there. He got about 2 yards and then was involved in that train wreck right there. And on the bottom of it, Donnell Thompson, who's been playing linebacker a long time here, senior captain out of Madison. 8 minutes left in the quarter. From the Emmy Award-winning creator of The Practice and Ally McBeal. Catch the Private Eyes at Work in an all-new episode of Snoops right before The Practice tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central on ABC. As I heard Gary Danielson say last week, I don't know if I'm allowed to watch that show, but he probably did anyway.
Well, Gary out there on the East Coast today.
Yep.
Doing a great job as always.
Cassio and Provitt, the wide receivers, on second down and long, but it's Belisari improvising again. And penalty markers down. I think this one took too long, and it's going to cost him a holding penalty. Probably Mike Gurr, who's going to be called for that infraction. Doring finally put him down and has the football in hand, but it's going to be a long yardage situation unless Wisconsin decides to decline, because it would still be third down and long. So let's see what the Badgers decide to do.
Brad, as we wait for the call, let me tell you what Kevin Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator, said coming out for halftime as soon as we get this call. As we watch Steve Belisari scramble a little bit more and the Wisconsin defense doing a better job, Kevin said that's one of their goals for the second half, to contain Belisari, not to let him get on the end so he can make plays. The other thing they want to do is plug up the seams on the inside. They just felt like they were giving Ohio State too many seams on the inside to run the ball and make things happen. So far in the second half, the best thing they've done obviously is get that touchdown, but they have contained Belisari much better when he's trying to scramble.
Well, he might have to scramble around here, because now it's second down and a mile, because that was the spot of the foul penalty, 15 yards backed up. Now they're back in their own territory. Second down at 28. Belisari straight drop. Throwing for Rambo, and a great catch in front of Jamar Fletcher got him back to the original line of scrimmage.
I bet Lynn Swan will agree with me on this. A perfect throw and a perfect catch will beat a perfect defended play every time. What do you think, Lynn?
Oh, I love this play, and I like the fact that they're not just sending Rambo deep 50 yards down the field. He's got excellent speed. You can throw the safe pass inside. He's learning how to run his routes better. He shields that defensive back, and if he breaks one tackle, he could turn a 5 or 10 yard catch into a 20 or 30 yard gain.
Third down at 10 coming up for Ohio State. They'll work from the shotgun. Rambo to the left and Germany to the bottom of your screen. Belisari thinking quarterback draw here, and now running for his life. A lot of white jerseys around, and he won't get anywhere near the first down. He is racked out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Jason Doring, who's been in on a lot of stops. Number 8 has been introduced to number 8 several times today. And now Ohio State, let's see, they thinking field goal. Stoltz talking with John Cooper, and he will come out on the field.
Well, the guy who made that play possible for Wisconsin was once again 7'7", Wendell Bryant, getting a pass rush in. Mike Gurr getting whipped on that one.
This is not a chip shot for Stoltz. It's going to be 49. Penalty markers.
Substitution infraction. 12 men lined up. 5 yards.
You know, Ohio State was confused. Jonathan Wells, I know, was out there. There were some people kind of holding their hands up as if say, what's our personnel? Who's supposed to be out here? They ended up with too many out there. And now it's, well, a field goal attempt of 54 if they're going to try it. And his career long. That puts him right at his range.
No, that's it. That's
the end of his range, I should say.
Yeah, that's a costly penalty.
Now with Belisari holding, you wonder if they're going to try this for real. 55 yards, direct snaps, a pooch kick. Shanked it off the side of his foot. Tried the quick kick from field goal formation, and they spotted at the 16-yard line. So Wisconsin gets it back. Coach Cooper is not happy. There's 6:09 left third quarter.
Five things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
What do you call hamburgers that are grilled one at a time by a person? Absolutely delicious. Chili's Big Mouth Burgers, monuments of inefficiency.
Their stories are all different. But their passion, their dreams, are all the same. That's why State Farm is a proud sponsor of women's sports. Because little girls have big dreams, too.
Ponder this. What makes Chili's awesome blossom so awesome? It is chopped, battered, and the rest is top secret, because only Chili's has mastered the art of the onion.
I'm telling you, Michigan State. We're heading north. But I told these guys we'd take them to Miami, Florida State.
Wisconsin leading. John Cooper talking to the linesman. He was not happy with the way the last 30 seconds or so of action went. Had a penalty for illegal substitution called that really cost him a chance at 3 points.
Well, he wasn't happy with the pooch that's right, but I really think it was the players' responsibility. They know when to go out there for a field goal. They're coached better than that.
Ron Dayne. And the big fella gets about 5. Jason Ott makes the tackle at 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Wisconsin's offense starting to put some things together. First 4 drives, not much, but the last 4 drives, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Well, that was a critical error for Ohio State because that puts them in the lead if they make that field goal. They don't get it. The call-in show guys will be all over John Cooper. I say it's the players' fault there.
2nd down and 5. Badgers at their own 23. Dayne again spins across the 25 and then got a yard and a half just on sheer will, I think. Cortland Bullard and Donnie Nicky getting off the bottom of the pile. See where they spot this. It'll be fairly close to a first down. Maybe close enough to look at. In fact, it is. Dick Honig has signaled for the chain gang. We haven't had to worry about those guys so far today. Ron Dayne is earning his keep. 65 yards, which is exactly what he had as a freshman in '96 in his first start at the Horseshoe. But those last 2 carries, of course, near the goal line are the ones that matter right now for the Badgers to give them those 2 touchdowns. And he got the first down on that second effort we talked about. The Badgers now can go back to playing Wisconsin football if that's what they choose to do. They have the lead. They'd just like to chew the clock away and take this thing about 73 yards downfield if they could. But they've got an excitable quarterback who's done some nice things on his own today. And we'll see what they choose to do on offense. First down, and Bollinger again. It appears with the audible, and that means Ron Dayne bounced off the first man, made a second miss. Did he fumble? He came close to it. And that was maybe a half-yard loss for Ron Dayne as we head to New York and John Saunders. John?
Brad, we head here for a little history. Texas against Kansas State. David Allen, the punt returner. This one will cover 74 yards for the touchdown. The 7th time he's done that in his career. That ties an NCAA record. Johnny Rogers and Jack Mitchell, the only other guys to do that. And Kansas State also grabs the lead 15-14. Mount Union, meanwhile, they'll have a chance to go for that Oklahoma record next week. On Carroll in 3 overtimes.
David Allen, electrifying punt return. Bollinger throws incomplete. Chambers is falling down. He is not having a great game, I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination. They keep throwing it to him, and he didn't hold that one, so it brings up the 3rd down and long.
You're being kind on that. I think these guys changed uniforms at halftime. Don't you?
Chris Chambers, whoops, that one hit him right between the 8s. That would have been a tough catch, and it was a nice play by Nate Clemens. That probably should have been interference. And today they keep throwing it to him 13 times, but only 4 catches. He comes out to the left side.
Yeah, there was no sun. He would have dropped the sun, too, I think.
Nothing but shade at the shoe right now. Bollinger. He might take off. He does. Got a long ways to go, and he got there. Well, maybe he didn't. At the very end, Niall Diggs put him down when he probably should have gone straight ahead. He finally made another cut to the sideline. Nope, they say first down. Boy, he barely got it. Here's the added dimension, Dino.
Yeah, Brent Johnson will come. I think he's lined up here this time, but it's one of the guys on the ends, and Johnson will come at him from this left side. Yeah, that's him. He has an angle here. You think he'll get him? No, doesn't get to a mobile quarterback. Nothing against Scott Kavanaugh. Brooks Ballinger makes that play with his feet.
He had a 3rd down at 10. He got 11. First down, Wisconsin. Its own 38 with 3:38 left in the 3rd. Faulkner. Eddie Faulkner. Boy, nobody near him right now. Some nice blocking by Wisconsin on that play as he goes all the way down to the 47-yard line and picked up almost 9. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the new Impala by Chevrolet. Let's go for a drive. Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Chili's, a proud sponsor of ABC's college football. Beautiful day in Columbus, and a beautiful look down in here. Dan McDuff's at the control of Goodyear Blimp today. Goodyear has 7 blimps around the world, one of them from Akron here with us today. And Dan, nice to have you along, and thanks for the beautiful looks down into the horseshoe. Faulkner on a counter. Eddie Faulkner. Ahmed Plummer holds on, but he got in the open field, got a first down, about 8 more yards to the 45. Well, there's a little change of pace here from Faulkner.
Yeah, it is. And he's not had a great season for this bunch. Donnie Nicky, the strong safety, is going to be a really good player, but he's someone who has to make tackles at that spot as Ahmed Plummer is down. But if you commit, you know, how many times this season have you seen defenders overcommit, over-pursue, and not tackle well? And there's another example of Ohio State not tackling well in the person here of Donnie Nicky.
Ahmed Plummer is the guy that's down. You see he's the one that stays with Faulkner. We can see he might have got rolled up on by Ott. That might have been part of the problem. Maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. That's what we'll hope for, because remember, David Mitchell went out shaken up earlier. Nate Clemens is the other starting corner. They may have to go to Michael Doss, a true freshman, to play that spot if Ahmed can't come back in. He says, I'm okay, but let's let somebody else play for one play, and that's Kelton Lindsey.
Well, I really like Ahmed Plummer. What a class individual. And obviously a terrific player as well. Great technician.
One of the guys on the Thorpe list. We mentioned the Thorpe Award went to an Ohio State player in Antoine Winfield last year. First down, Badgers just outside the Ohio State 45. Draw play to Dayne. And Niall Diggs filled a hole that I didn't think was going to get filled too quickly. Great reaction by number 32 to bring down Ron Dayne.
Well, you called it. It's a perfectly designed draw play. And Niall Diggs, great isolation here on him. He gets caught up with some traffic, defeats his man, and he's not against an easy blocker. Roberts is a really terrific center.
So they stop him at the 43-yard line. Only a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Fans trying to get into it for the Ohio State defense here. Buckeyes trailing for the first time today. Bollinger getting chased, throws it out. Nice tough catch, but an even better hit by Percy King. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and almost 6. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. In recognition of these athletes, Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. And this year, also Chevrolet making a donation to each player's high school. 3rd down, a key one for both teams, obviously, when you get down under 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
I call option. Of course, I'm a little screwed up that way, but Ohio State didn't cover it, didn't defend it well a couple of series ago.
3 wide out look. Bollinger trying to go to Chambers again. Flag on Nate Clements, and oh boy, he's got to watch out because he got all in the lineman's face, and that's going to give Ohio State the penalty and Wisconsin the 1st down. Pass interference on the Buckeyes.
Well, this is a break for Wisconsin because this is a poorly thrown ball. That's a poorly thrown ball there, so Bollinger gets a break here. We'll see a replay of this one. He's got a man open. Holds up, has a lane to throw it through. You know what? That ball should have been caught. I thought that the ball was higher. But Wisconsin had a call go against it to end the half.
We've said that more than once about Chris Chambers today. A ball that should have been caught. Here's Dayne, cut back to the middle. And Ron goes to the 31, picked up 4 more. He just keeps grinding out. And at the beginning of this game, you thought there is no way he's going to get to 100 yards. And other than passing Archie Griffin, he was never going to get close to Herschel Walker. But he is inching in that direction. 14 yards shy of moving one more notch up on the career rushing list. I know to Ron Dayne that means absolutely nothing right now with Wisconsin coming in with a 2-game losing skid. But they have scrapped their way back with 18 unanswered points to lead this football game. 11th play of the Badger drive. 2nd down and 6. Here's the option. Bollinger won't give it up. And late flag from the secondary.
Ball carrier is Brooks Bollinger.
Back judge threw that flag from about 20 yards downfield, and we got Niall Diggs down.
The block was deemed to be legal. There is no foul on the play.
All right, so they pick up the flag. And they'd love to pick up Niall Diggs right now and hope that he's all right. Their All-American candidate linebacker.
Well, with losing Katzenmoyer last year, his play is critical. Let's watch Diggs here come in as there'll be a collision.
Tangled up traffic, and then his shoulder and helmet appeared hit the knee maybe of Bollinger on the way by. With a quick break here, let's check in with John in New York. John?
Guys, it's time for the Burger King play of the day from Duke, Florida State. Peter Warwick, well, you know he can catch it pretty good. How about tossing it to the end zone? Lavernius Coles takes it in, 35 yards it covers. To Warwick with a touchdown pass. He also caught 3 for touchdowns as well. That's your Burger King play of the day.
Wisconsin's converted 5 of their last 6 third downs. Bollinger's going to be the guy again in the open field inside the 20. Boy, he's got some nice wheels. Nate Clements brought him down. 1st down, Wisconsin.
Yeah, the sea just parted there for him. That's the exact same play that they ran earlier in this quarter. Take a look at it develop. You've got a new player in. You've got outstanding blocking up front. And as you patiently wait for that play to develop as you're the quarterback, you keep extending it. And there it was. And this guy's feeling good. Not showing a lot of motion, your buddy there, but he's feeling pretty good about it, isn't he?
I would imagine he is. He wasn't feeling too good last night when Wisconsin arrived. Didn't feel very good before the game today either after a trip around the field on a golf cart before he headed to the locker room. Wisconsin started this drive back at their own 17. They've worked it to the Ohio State 18. And a penalty marker down, as I think maybe Bollinger thought the quarter was going to end before the play clock did, and that's not the case. 3 seconds left. And here's the call.
Delay game on the offense. Please put 5 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds.
So they add a couple ticks. And they back Wisconsin up 5 yards to the 23.
Well, he's got to make a mistake sooner or later so they don't think that he really has 3 more years remaining. Jeez.
It's first down and 15, Wisconsin. Final play of the third quarter. And it's Ron Dayne. And Ron got to the 20. And that's it. We played 3 quarters in Columbus. Wisconsin has captured the lead this quarter. ABC Sports presentation of college football returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous, you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. Be it the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
What is good? What is bad?
Buffalo, Miami, Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
I cover a lot of territory by wireless phone. Now, Digital Choice Single Rate from Bell Atlantic Mobile has expanded my boundaries with no roaming or long-distance charges. I can get 600 home airtime minutes a month for $59.99 on Single Rate East, plus a selection of high-quality digital phones, so I can call anyone in the U.S. like my sister in L.A. from anywhere on their East Coast network for a single rate. Stop by or call 1-800-255-BELL. Digital Choice Single Rate. It's for you, Bell Atlantic Mobile.
No limits, no boundaries in a Ford SUV from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
On the shore of the Poconos, we can go anywhere in our Ford Explorer.
Available with control track 4-wheel drive and a powerful V8.
Oh, I don't worry about the kids with all these safety features.
4-wheel disc brakes with ABS, plus available side impact airbags.
Explorer has everything and at the right price.
Ford Explorer XLT for only $338 a month.
Now we can do anything.
For the right equipment for any adventure, see your Quality Plus Ford dealer, your Ford outfitter.
Wildcats at 11:35 tonight.
Good hard-hitting Big Ten football game in Columbus. The Buckeyes, though, with a 17-point lead to start, have seen 18 unanswered from Wisconsin, and now the Badgers in the midst of a 14-play drive right now. Ron Dayne, 74 yards, 2 third-quarter touchdowns, though, to help the Badgers get in front. He's carried it 6 times on this drive alone. Play fake to him. Bollinger has Chambers open. He can't find him, and he comes back to the tight end. Inside the 15, down to the 11, goes Retzlaff. Chambers looked like he was open on a crossing pattern, but there was some heat coming on number 5.
You know what? That is such a smart play, though, by Bollinger. I mean, he held the ball long enough for his man to come open. As you'll see, Diggs decide to come up on him. Retzlaff right there. Diggs is in position, but when he makes a step toward the quarterback, Bollinger says, perfect, I'll take it.
You saw Chambers, though, in the top of the picture with a 2-step lead heading to the end zone.
I think it's one of those, you take it if you think it's there, but
right.
You don't risk it. That's a sure pickup of 7 or 8.
And gives them an opportunity now on 3rd down with 4 to go. And Jason Ott might be a cramp situation as they're seeing to him down there out of bounds at the 12-yard line, but they can't snap another play here before he's up and out of the way in case they run the ball that way. Tomorrow, the winner of 4 Emmys, including Best Drama 2 years in a row. Don't miss an all-new Practice tomorrow on ABC, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Great night of TV on ABC tomorrow night, by the way. At the 11-yard line. Third down and 4.
Puckett is in the game. The coordinator's son, 46, in place of Ott. We'll see if they go at him.
They'll run an option. Bollinger not going to get there. Diving down inside the 10, trying to follow his fullback in. Fred Puckett is the guy that made the tackle. The guy Dino was just talking about.
A heck of a play. They do put him in a position to where he has to make the play. And straight off the bench, that's a tough job.
Vitaly Lisetsky coming in for the field goal attempt. Today, he's hit from 42 and 25. This will be a 27-yard kick. And he's got it. And that was an important field goal because it stretches the lead down to 4 points. So now Ohio State, knowing it needs a touchdown sometime this fourth quarter.
People are beginning to think of the automobile not just as a family vehicle, but as a personal and individual means of transportation.
The throb of a powerful engine. Now for a moment, imagine yourself as driver of this automobile. You really have to drive it. At the Chrysler Proving Ground, give them an expressway and their drivers are...
I think we made the scenic back roads fun to drive.
Or give them any country or suburban road, rough or smooth. They're the type of people who like the feel of a fine machine.
Who love to drive. The renowned engineers of Chrysler.
A minimum of ornamentation and a minimum of chrome moldings.
Need a regular firecracker. The sounds of nature sing their prettiest over the rich, throaty obligato of his engine.
Even sheet metal can have a soul.
And they give you back the romance of driving.
And that is why these will never land on an ordinary car.
And you find out what exceptional unity of man and machine has been achieved.
This better be good, Captain. Lettuce field in California taken yesterday afternoon. And this morning.
So?
Florida, tomato field taken yesterday. And today. Now we're tracking a bacon train.
Sir, this is live.
Chicken truck convoy.
What does it all mean?
Next week, Burger King solves this mystery in a big way. Burger King, have it your way.
It's a story about men and women and the games they play.
I'm gonna kiss you right now.
The critics say it's TV's best. Emmy-winning Sports Night, the season premiere Tuesday on ABC.
With the exception of his 11-yard touchdown run in the third quarter, all the runs for Ron Dayne have been tough ones today, courtesy of Niall Diggs and the defense of Ohio State, but I think they're both getting sick of looking at each other. Short kick, Rambo runs up on the 16-yard line on the fly. Wrapped up at about the 27. And so now Ohio State's got to go to work, and their leader, Steve Belisari's got to get something going for them today. So far, 166 yards and the Reggie Germany 40-yard touchdown. And he's run for 36 yards. Wiley, that is, has run for 36 yards. Reggie Germany's been a bigger contributor today, although even last week, Germany caught 90 yards on 6 balls. It's just that Kenyon Rambo, in the last 2 games coming in, had 345 yards receiving. So you see Rambo come right out in the middle of your screen to the left side. And Belisari is looking for him. Going to flare it out instead out of the backfield to Wells. Nice move by Jonathan Wells. And they're going to say he stepped out at the 36. So he picked up about 8. Now I mentioned earlier in this quarter that Wisconsin would like to go on a 73-yard drive and put it in the end zone. They didn't. They got the field goal, and that leaves the door open for Ohio State. They can chip away now. They wouldn't mind using 13 minutes and getting a touchdown. But that last drive by Wisconsin, 16 plays, 73 yards. Wells wrapped up this time by Kalaji. The junior out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin, who's been kind of playing hobbled a little bit. Tough defensive end.
Not good when the other team's jerseys are in your backfield, and that's what has happened today. Kalaji gets there, and 77's been there all day. We've got an emerging star in number 77 in white, Wendell Bryant. No surprise to people up in Madison. This guy can play, and he'll be a key player down the stretch here. As I think that Ohio State, as they're struggling to get this call in, the fans are antsy. They're going to try to get Belisari outside that pressure.
Wells stays in at the tailback spot. 3rd down and 5. They play fake it to him. Belisari comes up firing. Nice play defensively by Bobby Myers, the strong safety. He got a left hand in front of Kenyon Rambo and knocked that thing away.
I'm going to show you why this is a good call. Watch the reaction here from Rambo as Bobby Myers makes a terrific play, but the fans think it's interference over the top. That's a great defensive play. Let it keep rolling, guys, if you will. No reaction is what we would have seen from the receiver.
Yep.
Good call.
Stultz to punt. 2nd 3 and out this half for Ohio State. They needed to pick up some yards and some first downs and couldn't. Not a good kick, but Wisconsin's got to clear everybody out of the way, and it's going to be down at about the 34-yard line. Only a 32-yard kick, but they did keep it out of the hands of Nick Davis. 12:26 left to play.
I was born hungry, but I was born Italian. So that never happened again. Tonight, we had the perfect meal for us. The Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl. You pick any of their special pastas, and you get all the free refills you want. Ooh, spaghetti with meat sauce, fettuccine Alfredo, you name it. The bowls keep coming until you say, ooh, when. And the same for salad and breadsticks, all for $6.95.
I'm gonna eat it all.
That's Cousin Al. Nobody's ever heard this guy say when.
I love this place.
Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
Stop it!
Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
Chrysler Concorde. Sophisticated styling, multi-valve V6, a spacious interior, and automatic respect wherever you park it. Now get $1,000 cash allowance on the Chrysler Concorde.
Hey, Jen, we're counting on you.
Last weekend in the Army Reserve, I had to refuel 6 Apache helicopters in 30 minutes. That got me ready to do battle on Monday.
Hey, not too shabby.
As little as 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Army Reserve.
Barry Alvarez has 1 win and 1 tie in his 7 outings against Ohio State. His team with the 4-point lead right now. That 1 tie, by the way, cost Ohio State an outright Big Ten championship. Today they were out in front 17-0, but Wisconsin has scratched back to lead by 4, and now they work from their own 35. Ron Dayne following his blockers, and Dayne got 5 more, and he's up around 79 yards now, and maybe he's just a carry or 2 away from passing Herschel Walker.
You know, this is a banged-up defense right now.
And there's another one down.
Yeah.
Freddie Puckett, the defensive coordinator's son, is down. They're tending to his right leg, and he came in because Jason Ott was shaken up. So they're running out of middle linebackers.
Well, and remember that Gary Berry, the leading tackler, the free safety's out. Percy King playing pretty well, but then you also had Niall Diggs coming out. So,
you know, I think he said, I think it's broken, to be honest with you, as they work on his lower right leg. And we'll try to get word, and obviously the concern of his coach and his father all at the same time. Fred Puckett on the sidelines, been at Ohio State 18 years. He's very proud of his son and treats him maybe harder than anybody else on that defensive side of the football, just because he's the old man. Coming up tonight on ESPN2, Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, the site Air Force will take on San Diego State at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Should be a good matchup. Usually high-scoring games when those two get together. So join us on the Deuce tonight at 9/6 Pacific time. And again, they attend the trainers to Fred Puckett, freshman, linebacker, and they're bringing the card out. I think they're thinking the same thing that Fred is thinking about his lower leg. We'll try to get a report from Swanee when we come back.
3 years ago, my IT guys told me there'd be two kinds of businesses. Those with a vision to master the internet and those without. And we didn't want to be the second kind. So we called Dell. Dell came to see us and showed us how to use the internet for direct relationships with our customers, suppliers, everyone who's a part of our business. With Dell support, there's no limit to where we can go. We always knew we needed the internet. We just didn't know how badly.
Be direct. Dell. Dell servers use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
There's this place in the neighborhood where they have these outrageous, you pick 2 platters, and basically you pick 2 out of 3 entrees. It's 2 on 1 plate. You get the Cajun steak with all those sizzling spices, or a pile of succulent roasted garlic shrimp, or barbecue chicken with that sauce that sticks to your lips and your mind like some really interesting dream. It was too good to end, but it will, just like the you pick 2 platters. 2 entrees, 1 plate, only at Applebee's.
Getting legendary capability doesn't mean spending everything you have. In fact, with Jeep Cherokee Sport's surprisingly affordable price, you may even have a little change left over. Now get all this at no extra charge.
Sunday, Dave plays for Golds, and Griff plays for Souls. In HE Double Hockey Sticks, ABC Sunday at 7, 6 Central.
Well, obviously, Fred Puckett on the left, the defensive coordinator, his son, wiping some tears away, probably more for knowing his season is over. And I think what he feared in the lips that we read when he said, I think it's broken, to the trainers, I think they feel the same way. They've got the inflatable cast on it. His father looks on concerned, obviously. His wife Bernie, I know, and Fred's mom looking on. You hate to see that. Kid's a good player, going to be maybe a really good player, and in his freshman season, that season has probably come to a close as he heads to the locker room. He was involved in the pileup and on the tackle at the 40-yard line. And here's another look. It's his lower right leg. Oh, yep. Ron Dayne. Dayne bangs his way up to the 44-yard line, about a yard, maybe 2 short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and a long yard or 2. Niall Diggs. Well, I know that John Cooper told Gene Blevins, I think Niall Diggs will lead us in tackles, and he's certainly been around the football a lot today.
Ron Dayne heavier than all but 3 or possibly 4 defenders, and you saw a good example of that strength and power and weight on that run.
He's 2 yards short of passing Herschel Walker, and he's 2 yards short of a first down for Wisconsin. Here he comes trying to do both, and he might have both. They wrap him up, but the forward progress appears to be to the 46. You can see the Badgers indicating they think it's a first down. And the official agrees. Dick Honig, the referee, just signaled first down Wisconsin. The Badger fans that are here watching number 33 continue to climb the rushing ladder. But more concerned is the fact that they have a 2-game losing streak coming into this game, and all of a sudden they're 4 points up on Ohio State. They've scored 21 straight points against the Buckeyes, and they're 11 minutes away from a huge win in Columbus. Long way to go, though. Dayne, here he goes into the secondary. Pickup of about 6. And that just solidifies that spot. Now there's not too many guys in front of him again. Charles White, Tony Dorsett, Ricky Williams, and now you can add the name in the 4 spot, Ron Dayne.
Well, there is a bull for you. Mike Collins getting ripped by the Wisconsin offensive line, and this is a defense at Ohio State. They gave up 525 yards last week, and there you see the numbers.
So still you see him 1,008 short of Ricky. His pace coming into this game was exactly the way it started the season. He needed to average right around 158 yards a game. Doesn't look like he's heading in a 158-yard game, but you never know. He can break it in a hurry. He's got 92 right now on 25 totes.
And he's out of the game now with an injury.
Eddie Faulkner comes in to take his spot on a 2nd down and 4. And they're going to draw play it to Eddie Faulkner. Puts his head down and got to the 46-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 2 Wisconsin after we check in with John Saunders in New York.
Brad, Notre Dame has ended a 3-game losing streak. Jarius Jackson, the big reason why. Here, 16 yards to Jabari Holloway. He had 276 yards passing, 107 on the ground, and was a part of 3 touchdowns in the game. 34-30, the final.
Dino, I kind of thought your Sooners were maybe going to win that thing, and they thought so too, I'm sure, for much of the game. Nice game by Jackson.
Big win for Notre Dame. Oklahoma much better under Stoops.
There's a huge 3rd down for the Ohio State defense. Faulkner diving forward down to the 43-yard line, and he's got the 1st down. There was nice pursuit by the Buckeye defense, but Eddie Faulkner, the last instant, did the swan dive for the 1st down. Speaking of swans, let's check in with Lynn.
Well, Brad, this is what Wisconsin's offense was recruited for, designed to do. The big offensive line is a run-blocking offensive line. They're willing to be patient and sacrifice and get 4 yards, 5 yards, the hard 3, nothing fancy. Pull you over, give it to Dayne, give it to Faulkner, and just eat up the clock. 9:33 on the clock now and counting. This team could take another 4 minutes to get to the end zone.
That's exactly what they're thinking, Swanee. You're right. At the 43, 1st down. Play fake to Dayne. And here's Coombs, the fullback. And Coombs down the sideline, takes a couple people with him, and he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. Chad Coombs, I told you he's a good blocker, and they love him. His pass-catching ability just got Wisconsin a huge 1st down.
Wisconsin has just dissected this Ohio State defense this afternoon in the 2nd half alone. Coombs comes out of the backfield, pressure on the quarterback, that opens up the fullback, and this is where he has that nice burst we told you about. Perhaps the best fullback in the conference, teamed up in the backfield with the best running back. Nice combo.
Well, he had Cecil Martin as a 3-year starter at Wisconsin, was his tutor. He's taught him pretty well. 1st down, Badgers at the 14. Dayne down 11. Pickup of about 3. Tomorrow night on ESPN, the Oakland Raiders will take on the Seahawks in Seattle. Tim Brown against Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks. And Monday night on ABC, the AFC East Showdown. Monday Night Football's 30th anniversary season brings you Dan Marino and Doug Flutie. A couple of guys that almost anybody would pay to watch. That'll be our matchup, 9 o'clock Eastern on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Ohio State will be susceptible to the pass here because they're going to commit an extra man to stop the run, which they have not done in a while.
Another 9th play of the drive by Wisconsin. It's Ron Dayne, and he bulls his way down inside the 2. It's 1st and goal, Badgers. And I just wonder who's going to get the football on the next snap.
Well, I'll make a bet with you. The quarterback will get it, and then he'll hand it to 33. Ron Dayne, what a 2nd half. Just when you're ready to write him off, he's getting some help up front, though. Clement's bumped out of the way.
He's over 100 with that run. Took Donnie Nicky and Percy King with him down inside the 2. Badger band is thinking upset. So are the guys on the field. There's your Heisman candidate. Only 3.7 a pop, but he's looking to add his 3rd touchdown of the day. Maybe. Dayne. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Good job, guys, is what Barry Alvarez just said, and his club is leading by 10. Ron Dayne, as Dino said, kind of putting us all to sleep in the 1st half, but it has been anything but in the 2nd half. 3 touchdowns, 2 in the 3rd, and now 1 here with 8:26 to go.
Well, he has done that on that play. Casey Robach had a terrific block. You know, Chris McIntosh at tackle is perhaps the best in the country. And this team has completely turned it around, as Ohio State hasn't answered the bell either. I mean, you got to give Wisconsin some credit, but Ohio State has not stepped up.
Pasetsky in for the point after to try to make it an 11-point game. That would force Ohio State into a 2-touchdown situation. Extra point. Not the prettiest, but it's up and through. And Ron Dayne, number 33, going for number 3 on the day, has Wisconsin in the end zone. They've scored 28 straight points.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's thrifty. Just the things you'd expect from a worldwide car rental company. Things like great cars, great service, airline miles, Blue Chip Express program, the works, and at a low rate. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
This better be good, Captain. Lettuce field in California taken yesterday afternoon and this morning. So? Florida, tomato field taken yesterday and today. Now we're tracking a bacon train.
Sir, this is live.
Chicken truck convoy. What does it all mean?
Next week, Burger King solves this mystery in a big way. Burger King, have it your way.
Minutes, 26 seconds remaining, and Ohio State has seen all of Ron Dayne that they want to see in the second half. 3 touchdowns, including one moments ago, as Wisconsin with their 6th straight scoring drive. 3 of them touchdowns, 3 field goals. That one 65 yards in 4 minutes. You see his 27th career 100-yard game. So the naysayers who say he didn't play big in big games, so he's playing big in this half against the 9th-ranked team in the country. So maybe a little bit of payback from the second half against Michigan last week will certainly quiet some of his critics. And he's been hobbling around today, too. That ankle I don't think is so good, but it feels a lot better when you're in the end zone than when you're getting dropped for a 3-yard loss. Wiley and Rambo both back, both dangerous. They need a decent kick return here, and Pisetsky's not going to let him get one. Rambo caught it just in the corner and behind the pylon in the end zone. It's a touchback, and the Buckeyes work from the 20. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. The United States Army Reserve, be all you can be. Applebee's, you belong at Applebee's. And Dell Computer, pioneering direct internet ideas for your business. Be direct with Dell. Captain Dan McDuff at the control, a Goodyear blimp today. Up from Akron, over from Akron, giving us beautiful aerial shots of a gorgeous October afternoon in Columbus, and 93,500 plus in the shoe. That might be a lateral. It's going to go out of bounds, incomplete. Intended on a swing pass for Wiley.
17-8 gets you to 25. You're only 3 back, but 8 points from where Ohio State is sitting now, based on what they've done in the second half offensively, is a long way.
You bet. They've got Rambo and Germany, 2 of the more dangerous receivers around. They're going to have to get it to him eventually. Rambo trots out to the near side. Reggie Germany goes the other way. 2nd down and 10, Ohio State trailing by 11. Belisari steps up, fires. Wiley out of the backfield on a run. Michael Wiley out to the 45-yard line. Dan Lasowski, that was a mismatch. The linebacker, Wiley's got too much speed for him, and he's got a 26-yard pickup.
Well, you called it. Lasowski could not keep up with him, and deep right here, number 8. See Jason Doring running away underneath, wide open. And that's a perfect throw from Belisari, who now feels the pressure that he's got to perform. That's one perfect pass from him.
It'll be less than 8 minutes the next time the ball is snapped. First down, Buckeyes, their own 47. 3 wide out grouping stays in there for Belisari from the gun. He's going to take off on a quarterback draw. He's got some room. Belisari broke a tackle inside the 40, down to the 39. First down, Ohio State. A pickup of 14. All of a sudden, the Buckeyes have their 2-minute situation working.
Brad, with Wiley in the backfield, everyone knows that following Ohio State, when he came in as a freshman, he was a wide receiver. When he stems out there, he is a true wide receiver that could be very dangerous, but even better, when he stems out in that slot, he gets a linebacker over the top of him. That one takes out a guy who's a potential tackler when Belisari runs, and it's a great matchup.
He's in the slot to the left this time, but Belisari wants it all to Germany the other way. Just overshot it. Jamar Fletcher and Germany bumping a little down there at about the 10-yard line. No penalty. And it's incomplete, second down.
Fans may have a right to boo here. That ball was catchable. I think theoretically it was catchable. And the bump seemed to appear as Belisari let go of it. Here's the end of it.
There was a little arm hook in there.
I thought the bump was earlier in the play, though. It looked like it was at the end as well, but the one I was talking about was
about the 11, 12-yard line.
Yeah.
At any rate, Germany's been shut out this half. And second down and 10. Belisari's looking at him again, the other way. And this time, Wisconsin almost picked it off. Bobby Myers playing center field out there, almost had an interception.
Wisconsin believes that Ohio State is impatient. They've gone for the killer 2 plays in a row. I think they're moving the ball fine. Just move it down. You've got 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Now they find themselves in 3rd and 10.
The offense for Ohio State is not demonstrating any kind of patience whatsoever. They have big play, big strike, fast strike capability, but as you said, Dean, they've got enough time where they can move the ball down the field easily, taking a shorter passes and getting to the end zone. I don't understand why they feel pressed to go so deep every time.
They're only one of their last 6 third down conversions, and they've got to get 10 here from the gun. Belisari, a lot of time, deep middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Van Es Provit. He probably should have had it, and it would have been a first down at the 17. And now let's see, as Ohio State 4th and 10. Belisari comes over to have a quick word with John Cooper. They might not get too many more opportunities, so here comes maybe the ball game for the Buckeyes. 4th down and 10. 50% of the passing today for over 200, and he needs 10 more right here.
Rambo's the man he likes to go to in these situations. Top of your screen.
Got single coverage, but he looks the other way, and Wisconsin almost had him sacked. On the run, Belisari and Doring and Wisniewski ran into each other. Wisniewski looking for a pass interference. Doring was looking for an interception, and Wisconsin takes over on down.
Now Ohio State is really in a jam.
Yep.
You know, Belisari did all he could to stay alive that time. Lucky it wasn't intercepted, but I guess it doesn't matter if it's intercepted. The pocket collapses around him. He does a good job just to get outside, spots a receiver, and actually, this ball is thrown in the face mask of Doring. Watch this.
Yep.
Boom.
And Wisconsin takes over at its own 39-yard line. Ron Dayne. Hit, bounces off Ott, and got about 4. And you know that people right now are thinking, all right, Ron Dayne, hold on to the football. Against Cincinnati, he fumbled in the end zone on what would have been the winning touchdown drive. Talking to Barry Alvarez the other day, and he said, you know, everybody got on our case. He'd gone 300 carries without fumbling, and they coughed that one up. He lost one last week to help Michigan get an early lead, but today he has been the Badgers' savior in the second half. 3 touchdown runs, and the clock's under 6.5 to go. Second down and 6, Badgers. Don't imagine they'll try anything fancy. Draw play to Dayne. And second effort got him maybe 2 more yards than he would have out to the 46-yard line. And now it's 3rd down and almost 4. Ron Dayne in the first half stifled by the Ohio State defense. But in the second half, the one they call the Great Dane. That touchdown. Another straight up the middle from 11 yards out. And from 2 yards out for his 3rd score of the day has helped the Badgers to 28 unanswered points and an 11-point lead with under 6 minutes to go. Bollinger, quarterback draw. Got some room. He got the first down. Well, he may not be a pinpoint passer. He may never end up being a pinpoint passer, but I'll tell you what, the kid whose dad, Rob, was a one-time coach in North Dakota, knows football as far as having the savvy to do whatever it takes to move the chains.
So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys right here in the box. The rest of the guys, 5, are covering receivers. You love the numbers if you're Wisconsin, and you love who's running the football because he knows exactly what to do.
A redshirt freshman out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. That's just down the road a piece from Fargo. And would this be a huge win for Wisconsin? Blitz coming. Dayne going. Ron Dayne, open field. One man to beat. It's Percy King. He got him, but not until he got to the 2-yard line. And Ron Dayne has just rumbled his way back into the Heisman race.
Ron Dayne busts through the line. It was a terrific job of opening a hole, and all he needs, although he's about 3 feet wide, he only needs about 2.5 feet wide to get through. And you think the guy's got some speed, not enough to get into the end zone, but enough to get there.
Enough that Percy King had to come flying over there to prevent another touchdown. And now it's a 159-yard day. That is what he needs to average to catch Ricky Williams. He can think about that maybe tomorrow. He can muster a smile through the fatigue right now because he's got his team down close to what would be a clinching touchdown. Faulkner. Eddie Faulkner just driving his legs and got down to the 1. Ron Dayne, 3 touchdowns in the second half. Almost had a 4th one a moment ago, and if Wisconsin doesn't get it in on this play, he might come back out there and try for 4.
Brooks Bollinger in this situation is just having the time of his life. Yeah, he's a freshman, but all he's saying in this huddle is, guys, don't jump off sides, don't hold, no penalties, and when I give it to you in the backfield, don't fumble it. Yeah, right. Don't fumble it. This game is right where we want it. He doesn't care if it takes him 2 or 3 downs to get in. That's just more time off the clock.
And he wants to use as much clock before the snap as possible. 10 seconds on the play clock. Dayne says, you don't get it. I'm coming back in, Faulkner. Coons, the fullback. 2nd and goal, Wisconsin. Eddie Faulkner. Touchdown, Badgers. Went airborne. And Wisconsin may have put this thing out of reach. Penalty marker down. Maybe excessive celebration. In the end zone is where the flag is.
Unsportsmanlike foul on the offense after the touchdown. It'll be 15 yards on the try.
Eddie Faulkner, as I said earlier, and Dean talked about as well, kind of a maligned back, has not had a great season, had a pretty good game against Cincinnati. He's feeling pretty good right now, and his buddy on the sideline says, I don't need that 4th touchdown. And Barry Alvarez in the booth says, yes. His team leads 34-17. You saw Brian White, the offensive coordinator, jump into the picture too. And now the extra point by Pisetsky, in essence, is a 36-yard extra point. And he got it. Wisconsin has come back and shocked Ohio State. They trailed 17-0. They've scored on 7 straight possessions. They lead by 18.
Mikowski.
Hey, Coach.
You've been traded.
Really?
Turn in your playbook.
You got a case of Michelob Light for my going away party?
Not exactly. That's what we traded you for.
There's ordinary beer. Then there's the Michelob Light.
Smith is leading the league in sacks. I bet we can get 2 cases for him.
He's out of here. Beer or Michelob?
Everybody take your seat. Okay, class, let's try some basic conversation. Katrina, does this bus go downtown? Okay, maybe not. Phil, how many stops to Wall Street?
On Ameritrade.
Oh,
you trade on Ameritrade? Yeah. One trade, $8. The wristwatch is free.
More Ameritrade.
I live for Ameritrade.
Ameritrade. Call now.
You know, I wonder if you can fix that cup again.
E-tailers like Amazon.com choose priority mail. Shouldn't you?
Brad Nessler, Dean Blevins, Lynn Swan at a shocked Horseshoe Ohio Stadium in Columbus, where it is Wisconsin now leading 35-17. Rambo and Wiley wait on the kick. Kenyon Rambo's got a beat on it from the 12. Rambo trying to sift his way through, got maybe to the 27-yard line. And let's check in with John Saunders in New York.
Brad, Kansas State and Texas in a very tight one. Major Applewhite having a pretty good game for Texas, but not on this outing. Mark Simoneau steps in front of the pass and takes it 37 yards on the interception return for a touchdown. Kansas State with some breathing room now. They lead it 24-17. Brad.
Well, John, here there's some huge breathing room for Wisconsin, where earlier it looked like they were going to need some mouth-to-mouth resuscitation from something. Well, they got it from Ron Dayne in this second half. Belisari, deep middle, had it tipped, and it's intercepted by Myers. Bobby Myers coming back the other way. Myers breaking tackles inside the 30. Bobby Myers, he's going to go, maybe, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Chris Godorsey, the middle linebacker, tipped it. Bobby Myers took it 47 yards. The third turnover against Ohio State today.
What we have is a team that has totally gotten away from its game plan. They're out of their comfort zone, and their fans are booing, the ones that are left.
Yep, the rest of them are leaving. And Ron Dayne has checked into the Wisconsin backfield as it's 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
You know, we talk about getting out of your game plan. You've got to hand it to Wisconsin offensively. Brian White, the offensive coordinator, did a great job after his club was throttled in the first half of sticking with it.
Dayne's got 3 touchdown runs today, 60 on his career. Another chance here. Touchdown, Badgers. 4th touchdown by Ron Dayne in the second half, and Wisconsin will pull an upset in Columbus. All Badgers. Is that 8 straight scoring drives for Wisconsin?
I don't think they've been stopped.
8 straight scoring drives, and Dayne does the honors from the 2.
They don't do anything fancy. Ohio State knows exactly what's coming.
Remember when we said Wisconsin now can play Wisconsin football again? Boy, have they ever. Smash mouth football. And the ground attack of Ron Dayne. There's a happy Heisman candidate. He's back in the hunt.
I never dreamed until I started gambling that I would be so grabbed by it.
I wasn't really thinking at the time. I looked at it as an opportunity to pick up, you know, some money. And I guess at the time, you know, you're not really looking at the consequences. The worst time is just seeing my mom's face and the hurt that I brought to her.
And you think to yourself, how did I get into this and how am I going to get out of this? It's a pretty desperate feeling.
Sunday on the wonderful world of Disney, Dave plays for goals and Griff plays for souls.
I'm here to offer you the Stanley Cup in exchange for your soul.
Now the power play between good and evil begins.
Are you ready to take the plunge?
It's a world television premiere. Boy Meets World's Matthew Lawrence and Will Friedle with Rhea Perlman in HE Double Hockey Sticks, Sunday at 7, 6 Central on ABC. Entertaining the world, one movie at a time.
Well, it has been HE double hockey sticks for Ohio State. The last 42 points scored by Wisconsin. 8 straight scoring drives, 4 touchdowns by Ron Dayne, ties a career high. And Ohio State trailing 42-17, just about needs a kick return for a touchdown to have any kind of chance here, and they don't get it out to the 26-yard line. Belisari trying to make something happen on that last play. Dino Gadorzi got in the way of it.
Yes, he did, and it was desperation time. Ball tipped Bobby Myers. The thing to look for, though, is Ohio State. Are you guys, you're going to try to tackle him? Let's see some effort. Let's see some effort. John Cooper's one of my favorite coaches, and he coaches well and coaches them hard, but they got to do a better job there.
And then one play later, Ron Dayne took Jason Ott with him to the end zone, and now he can unstrap those shoulder pads. His day is done.
I haven't seen him smile a lot this year.
And he's smiling now.
That's right.
Belisari drops and rolls. Steve looking for a man down the sideline and overshot Reggie Germany. This will be the first loss as a starter that Steve Belisari will suffer. Ron Dayne, 162 yards and 4 touchdowns. So with Pete Warwick catching 3 and throwing 1 today, Joe Hamilton shining brightly on Thursday night on ESPN against Maryland, and Drew Brees, who had a tougher day today. And you got to think that Dayne is right back in the thick of things and right back in the chase for Ricky Williams' rushing record. Belisari fires complete out to Jonathan Wells out of the backfield, and Jonathan's got a first down and out of bounds. Gadorzi ran him out at the 37-yard line.
So now all of a sudden Ron Dayne has momentum. He has a couple of games coming up where I think he's got a chance to rack up a few numbers. Minnesota's playing good football. Indiana will play hard, but those are two teams he can rack up some numbers. You know, we talked in the first half that he had the second half last week where he got 0, and he was shut down for the most part in this half, so he was non-existent. Bam, he's back in the middle of this.
Yes, he is. And they meet a Wisconsin team, Minnesota team rather, next week that is unbeaten under Glenn Mason. First time the Gophers have been 4-0 since, I don't know, Sandy Thompson was playing quarterback in the 60s. I'm not sure, but it's been a long time.
Well, Glenn's a very good coach, and they are having a great year, but you tell me, would you want to go against Michigan's defense or Minnesota's?
Yeah, that's true. Minnesota's defense actually playing pretty well, but I take your point. It's a well-placed one. Belisari with plenty of time, but he throws it over the head of Wiley. And one of the Wisconsin assistants made a nice catch over there on the sideline. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. And John and Terry would bring you up to date on Pete Warwick and Drew Brees and some of those other guys we mentioned in reference to the Heisman. Looking in on the horseshoe, where it is emptying quickly. Ohio State had things working their way. Belisari intended for Rambo, nowhere near the intended receiver. I don't know that I've done a game where I've seen 42 unanswered points by a team that was down by 17. I don't think I have.
Well, a lot of that is due to the big offensive front. I mean, these guys in Wisconsin are broad. They are big, and they do a great job of blowing people out. And I thought they may miss Aaron Gibson a little bit more.
They had missed Gibby, I think, the #1 pick of the Lions. But today, once they got things working their way, and really I think that drive right before halftime is now Gadorzi, who's been all over the field, smothers Belisari.
Let him up, let him up, let him up, let him up.
You hear the officials saying let him up, and now a little shoving after the play. I think that drive to end the second quarter, when Wisconsin only got a field goal, but at least they got something before halftime, gave them the hope they needed. And then, of course, Wiley's fumble on the kick return to start the third quarter really started the ball rolling Wisconsin's direction.
And who did it? I'm going to say the quarterback. He was the one who sparked it, and then it opened it up for big 3-3.
Yep, he was the spark, and then the torch was Ron Dayne.
I'm going to tell you what they're going to say in postgame. They're going to say we have not had big plays this year. All of a sudden, we've had a spark. And this spark's going to be around for a while.
Yes,
and he makes this season look very promising for not only Wisconsin, but for Ron Dayne individually.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Last 8 possessions by the Badgers. Field goal, a couple of touchdowns, another field goal, and then Dayne, Faulkner, Dayne in the last 3.
Hey.
They had field goal drives of 12 plays, 17 plays, and 16 plays. Unbelievable.
Well, you know, Ohio State had to feel good about itself, maybe too good about itself going in at halftime, and As we were cavorting around the press box here, ran into some people who were saying, you know, aren't we looking good? Not the press corps, by the way. There's some other people from the athletic department. But then all of a sudden it turns around, does a 180.
Yeah, exactly. Bennett on the carry as Ron Dayne's day is done with those numbers. Dell Game solution. Well, you get him mixed into the solution. If he gets rumbling on you, you're going to have a long day as a defense. And it took him a while to get on track, but when he did, he became what we have seen for 4 years. So the big games against the big names. Ron Dayne has put one in the big game category this afternoon. Down to the final minute and change. And here's a run by Mitchell, breaking tackles. They like this kid. He gets out first down at the 42-yard line.
Well, I'm sure Mitchell is a nice, fine runner, but to be honest with you, the concern has to be it's not give-up time. I don't care what happens. You still tackle hard. You still play hard. And I just have not seen that from Ohio State here in the second half.
That's right. Man down is Kenny Peterson, who was in on the stop. Our game today, our New York remote coordinator, Vince D'Addario, College Football Today technical director, Berman. Calvin Haywood, our College Football Today director. Charles Copeland produced College Football Today. Craig Rothberg, our computer stats. Clint Dean, my spotter. Pat McGrath, PTR, the statistician. Chapman Downs and Praven Martin, our assistants to the producer. Jake Gleason, our technical operations manager. Production manager, Joe Alvarado. Margaret Schaefer, our associate director. Fred King, our associate producer. Jeff Suarez, our technical director. Today's game directed by Chip Dean and produced by Jay Rothman. The coordinating producer of ABC's College Football is Bob Goodrich. Executive producer of College Football is John Filippelli. And the executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. Well, a cheesehead with a different look. A red W for the Badgers, who are going to have one in the W column here 1 minute from now. And while head coach Barry Alvarez has already made his way out of the assistant coach's box over to our right and down to what will be a very jubilant locker room, I would think that would take a little bit of the pain away of the knee replacement surgery that he'll have Tuesday at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And a lot of people don't realize that Barry had surgery in the spring on that knee. Originally, it just keeps filling up with blood and fluid, and it's a daily thing, really, to try to relieve the pain. So it is not elective surgery by the Wisconsin coach. He's got to get it done. They had hoped they could wait 5 years on a new knee, but that new knee all of a sudden is coming in less than 5 days. So we wish Coach Alvarez a speedy recovery and hope that he's back on the sidelines for Wisconsin very soon. But I know it's going to be his first successful outing from the press box. And while he has been in a tremendous amount of pain, some of that is going to go away today. 42-17. There he is, getting on the crutches and out of the cart and headed to the locker room.
I like him because he's very believable. I think players can see through coaches, see through people as well as anyone, if not better. You know, kids can see through it. And what he says, I think it's easy to believe. And Ron Dayne, you know, he moves forward. 32 rushes, stopped for no gain only 2 times.
Wow. Yep. And down to the final 10 seconds. And his replacement, the number 3 running back, Michael Bennett, with the final carry of the day. That's going to do it. Ohio State had a 17-0 lead with 10:23 to go in the half. They saw Wisconsin score 42 straight points to win it, going away 42-17. For Dean Blevins and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Our players of the game, Ron Dayne of Wisconsin, Niall Diggs. A great day defensively, but it wasn't good enough. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And starting this year, Overbrook High and Dorsey High will each get $1,000 too for the 2 high schools of those 2 fine players. Ron Dayne, 4 touchdowns, back in the Heisman hunt. 42-17 the final. ABC Sports online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Now stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report. For Dean and Lynn Swan, Brad Nessler, so long from the shoe.
I'm telling you, Michigan State. We're heading north. But I told these guys we'd take them to Miami, Florida State.
ABC Sports and the Waterboy on Video would like to send you to the Nokia Sugar Bowl to be the honorary Waterboy. Check your local retailer for more details and watch ABC's college football.
Here's the perfect minivan for you. Ford Windstar 2000. Safety for the kids, comfort for us. Awarded the government's highest safety rating, 5 stars. Look at all this room. 7-passenger seating and up to 144 cubic feet of cargo space. Talk about convenient. Dual remote sliding doors make Windstar easy to get into and get out of. And it's a real bargain. Now get $1,000 cash back on Windstar. Windstar fits your life. Ford Windstar, only from your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
The durable, authentic khaki. It gets better with every wash. Dockers khakis.
Getting legendary capability doesn't mean spending everything you have. In fact, lease a Jeep Cherokee Sport for $279 a month with 0 down and only $579 due at signing, and you may even have a little change left over. Now get all this at no extra charge. See your Key States Jeep dealer.
Action News Mornings, now starting at 5 a.m.
The Thrifty Car Rental Postgame Report. The car you want, the service you expect, all at a low rate. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. Just the things you'd expect from a worldwide car rental company. Things like great cars, great service, airline miles, Blue Chip Express program, the works, and at a low rate. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
A reminder, Monday night, Buffalo and Miami, Monday Night Football on ABC Sports' 30th anniversary season. It should be a terrific matchup. Doug Flutie against Dan Marino. That's live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC Sports. Well, this has been an interesting day, and it doesn't get very good for Florida. On their first possession, after Florida had a touchdown in the first possession, they missed the point after. Then Sean Alexander, 25 yards on this touchdown run in overtime to win the game. Alabama, unbelievably, 8-1 in Gainesville. For Florida, it snaps a 30-game winning streak in the Swamp.
I tell you, Mike DeBoe's going from the hot seat to a brand new contract. You know, we haven't talked as much about Sean Alexander as a true Heisman candidate. That is as Heisman a performance as I've seen this year in the Swamp. Sean Alexander, fantastic job.
32 touches for 200 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and gets the big one in overtime. Kansas State and Texas, this one was a 1-point game. With about 10 minutes to go in the game, Kansas State has now blown this one wide open.
Well, I think the key here again is Kansas State's secondary has shut down Major Applewhite, Kwame Campbell, and the entire passing game of Texas.
All right, so Texas looks like they're going to lose that one. Right now, though, we want to get you up to date on what's happened in the Heisman Trophy race, at least the guys we feel are the front runners right now. And Ron Dayne, I was ready to turn the lights on him at halftime, and look at this.
Well, you know, I was saying with Ron Dayne, as long as he has a chance to win the rushing title, he's in it. But when he goes out and leads them to victory, he's got a great chance.
Joe Hamilton, well, Drew Brees, not a bad day today, but they lost the game, and as you mentioned, it's going to be tough in the Big Ten. Joe Hamilton is the guy I like right now.
He's my new favorite. He's had 2 huge TV games, and he's helping their team more than any other quarterback.
And the only game they lost, he only had a fantastic game. For Terry Bowden, I'm John Saunders. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
What an extraordinary performance.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.
I see it, dead people.
Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis.
I'm so scared.
12 Monkeys, ABC tonight. Parental discretion advised.
90 days until the celebration of the century.
Wildcats at 11:35 tonight.
Pennsylvania Lottery.
Good evening. It's time for the live lottery drawings for Saturday, October 2nd, 1999. First, the daily number. Draw the first digit, please. 2. The second digit. 1. And the third digit. 0. Tonight's witness is Lois Barbush. And now, Big 4. Draw the first digit, please. 8. The second digit. 3. The third digit. 4. And the fourth digit. 4. Lottery drawings are audited by Wooten and Nisley, certified public accountants. Now it's time for Cash 5. Select 5 numbers from 1 to 39, please. 33. 22. 19. 11. 36. And now let's play the Super 6 Lotto game. Please select 6 winning numbers from 1 to 69. 20. 28. 11. 26. 27. And 56.
The Pennsylvania Lottery does more than provide fun and excitement for its players. We make a difference in the lives of older Pennsylvanians across the state through lottery-funded programs for property tax and rent rebates, and free or reduced fare transportation, even reduced vehicle registration fees. We fund area agencies on aging programs like home-delivered meals, senior community center activities, in-home services, and the PACE program to help reduce the cost of prescription drugs. The Pennsylvania Lottery, helping to enrich the lives of people across the state.
Here again are tonight's winning numbers from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Sally Ann Mosey, Phil Andrews, and Rob Jennings.
Saturday night, a big one for the Flyers as they kick off their season opener, and disaster strikes at Philadelphia International. It's an effort to prepare for the worst. But the big story in Action News tonight is the first face-to-face confrontation between Philadelphia mayoral candidates Sam Katz and John Street. It happened during a televised debate here in our studios today. Matt O'Donnell is live in the newsroom with the highlights. Matt?
Well, Rob, crime, taxes, and schools, those were the prevailing issues in this debate, and one of the candidates made news by revealing who he'd like to remain in one of the city's most important jobs.
Do this, John. Let me finish.
Sam, you win. I'll reappoint John Timoney. Does that make you happy?
Democratic mayoral candidate John Street finally gave in to Republican Sam Katz's demand and declared popular police commissioner John Timoney would